Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Breakdown, the first post-major show of the 2024 season. Thank you to everyone joining us around the globe.
Can you hit it with a little more
for our first show?
It's The Breakdown.
Just bear with me. Everyone, welcome. Hope you guys enjoyed the watch party. It was a lot of fun being on site in downtown Boston, seeing the players, having players come on the show, right? Just seeing the crowd was amazing, right? Packed crowd there in Boston. The food was great. Overall, happy we traveled, and I thought the watch party was a grand time.
I must say, personally, Boston is now in my top 3 CDL event cities or hosted cities that I've ever been to. So last year, we didn't get to go. Obviously, our equipment got lost in transit. It was an absolute shit show. So we were giving our seats up essentially for the team to get there on time. But Boston has now entered my top 3 cities. It's now Dallas, Texas, or Arlington, obviously. Little bias there. Toronto's number 2. Boston is now number 3. Boston was such a fun event. I mean, from top to bottom, the venue was sick. Most of the people were nice. There were a couple, you know.
There always is.
Most of the people were nice and respectful. We were obviously doing the watch party kind of in a more open forum this time. It was in a room. There was a bar behind us, so we're usually a little more tucked away. People were respectful. We had a couple hiccups. I don't know if you guys remember when our power strip got kicked or when our camera almost got broken.
Yep.
That was definitely not ideal. And hold on, real quick, 1 second. Chicken bacon.
Damn!
Dropped another 50 bomb off of the red dome piece. I got a little bit sunburn at content today. Chicken bacon. Much love to you, baby. That's another 50 bomb. W's in the chat for my man Chicken Bacon. Chicken Bacon Ranch.
Guys.
But Boston was insane, man. It was fun. It was insane. Go ahead, Zin. I know you want to bring something up.
Yeah, before we start our normal programming and get into our regular show, we want to highlight a clip real quick.
Yep.
Going to Craven. Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa!
Uh-oh.
Stand by 3. It'll be that hit through the back door.
Kenny!
Hold on down.
Kenny!
Cancel the hold. Cancel the hold. We're going map 5.
Cancel the hold. Cancel the hold. We're going map 5.
Oh my God!
Nah, man.
So
Jesus.
despite
Woo! That 3-piece, holy shit!
despite how gross of a clip that was from Kenny, the reason we're bringing that up because who you heard in that clip were the observers covering the CDL for as long as we can remember. And 60 out of 72 people lost their jobs revolving around Call of Duty esports yesterday. So we wanted to highlight them, and because you guys see a lot of people on the camera, but there are people behind the camera, some that we've interacted with personally and some we've never met, that really did a lot for the scene and to help the show go on. So first and foremost, very sorry and thinking of everybody who lost their job. It's fucking terrible to see. And
absolutely. I mean, and I'd also like to just highlight really quickly because people think that, you know, there's a bad relationship between us and the CDL, and the CDL is always coming in and stomping out whatever we're doing. But that has nothing to do with some of these people that lost their jobs. I mean, these people were very passionate. You see it right there. It's really sad, man, honestly. Yeah. And it's the hot hands. I was literally just about to ask what their little team name was called, the Hot Hands Lounge. They did such a good job. I mean, observing every single event. It's not just them. There's a lot of people also that lost their jobs. This tweet, when I was looking on Twitter the other day, this popped up.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
No,
they were
loving this one as well.
They are incredible at what they do. So at the very least, I hope a lot of the people who are affected still are involved in events going forward at the bare minimum. There are just too many talented people that lost jobs that frankly didn't deserve it, and they brought a lot to the CDL, and they made our jobs as players, and I guess former players for us now, a lot easier. So
and we have a lot
thank you to everybody who helped behind the scenes, and once again, just very, very sorry. I mean, I don't really know what else to say besides thinking of you guys.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends that were involved in it too. Obviously, we don't know everyone that got laid off, but I'm assuming a majority of them were doing a fantastic job while running these events. So it's definitely sad, and I want to segue out of it a little bit. It kind of makes you think what's going to happen after this year. I mean, they just laid off 60 of 72 employees. That's 5/6 of their work base. So it's like, what happens?
I mean, my assumption is that a lot of the same people they will try to involve going forward, just on contract work. Because I'm pretty sure they lost full-time positions. So I'm assuming, I hope, because we have great people who are working behind the scenes, I'm assuming they'll get offered like contractor roles for weekends or whatever it may be. I don't know. That's what I hope. I hope at the very, very least these people are still involved with Call of Duty, because we have a great product. I mean, I know there's a lot of negativity around what we have going on, but Call of Duty Esports is still setting viewer records to this day. I mean, every event's a lot of fun. The competition's at a high. There's a lot of good content around it. So I know everything sounds very negative, but we actually have a lot of good things going. And I'm hoping, once again, at the bare minimum, these guys are involved.
And Call of Duty has always been so community driven. You know, it's the community that really keeps competitive COD alive, and the community extends to those people that also lost their jobs. I mean, us doing the watch parties, you guys. I mean, everyone helps, and it's sad. It's honestly sad, and it's a little worrying. It's a little worrying for is there something going on behind the scenes that could inevitably be coming? We don't know. It's scary, man. Straight up, it's scary. It's sad. Hopefully, all those people land on their feet and pick back up. Yeah.
We thought it was very important to highlight that and show that, because that clip was a great watch. Just hearing, because I mean, we all hear the listen and then see it live, and that's pretty much all you see. And then we get some added context with that tweet of the people actually steering the ship and going from POV to POV and how into it they are. So, shout out to them, and we're thinking of you guys. But now I think we can segue into a bit of our normal programming.
Absolutely.
You guys know the drill. It was still a great weekend for competition. Obviously, once again, a huge thank you for those that joined the watch party. We had so much fun being there.
It was a blast, man.
We had a lot of interesting results, right? I mean, some upsets, some normal. The top three, right? You have Ultra, FaZe, and Optic.
Are we in a 3-team league right now?
I mean, New York come in and they struggle. Obviously, we had New York 4th, 5th. Well, sorry, we had New York 3rd, and then we had Heretics actually 4th, and Heretics also dropped the ball. They go 0-6. Now there's the potential roster change, which we'll get to in a bit.
Correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the weekend review.
I'm going to let Zinni drive this one.
Sure, man.
Go ahead, Zin. Kick us off, man.
So let's just say it how it is. There were some great matches and some not so great matches, right? So I'm going to breeze through some that honestly were kind of expected or weren't necessarily as relevant. For example, FaZe versus LAG. FaZe win 3-0. I don't think we need to really talk about that one too much.
No.
I do want to highlight Rocker versus New York, which was, I would consider, an upset, right? Rocker, they are riding this high online going into the weekend, but they're playing a red-hot New York, defending world champions, a team that we expected to take out Rocker, despite Rocker sort of riding that high, and they prove us wrong. There were some issues with some restarts.
A lot of issues in that one.
I will say, though,
a lot of issues.
You have to give Rocker their flowers, because they were going to win map 1 before the restart.
Correct. And they still came out and won it. And I just want to say,
very rarely,
you never win the reset.
They fucking did.
And they fucking did. It's well known in the Call of Duty scene, you never win the reset, but Minnesota did the impossible. They come out and they squeak one by on not just the team, New York, who we had very comfortably in the top 4.
Damn right. And then, listen, Rocker played incredible all weekend long. They went 6-2 in Surge convincingly. Map 3, that one is a little back and forth where you can say, oh, New York could have won this map. Nonetheless, Rocker win 3-0, and that wasn't just an upset right there. I mean, these guys went on to make a run. But moving forward to our next match, we had Ultra win 3-0 against Surge, obviously our tournament champions. I don't think much to discuss there. I think Ultra was in a tier of their own. I think them and FaZe were there, but even Ultra looked a tier above FaZe. So
now
I feel like Ultra looked S+.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, FaZe looked great, and somehow Ultra looked even better on a consistent basis.
Ultra look insane. They lost 2 maps during the weekend. And guess what those 2 map was? It was Invasion Control. It was the only map they lost all weekend.
If they veto that, they'll go undefeated.
I'm pretty sure they lost 2 Invasion Controls. Chat, can you fact check me right there? Wasn't it 2 Invasion Controls they lost?
Welcome to Fact or Cap.
I'm pretty sure it was both Invasion Controls. And the fact that they lost only that map is horrifying.
Yeah.
Because to be good in the CDL, you have to have a strong map pool. And they just went in, Major One, and proved that theirs is, it's
They have a lot of rabbits in that magician's hat.
it is very
They
scary.
can just pull maps out of the hat, and they'll end up taking them. So, yeah, obviously, we'll, of course, touch on Ultra moving forward. I do want to highlight Optic Texas versus Miami Heretics because it went the exact opposite way when we saw it online. Heretics looked red hot. They 3-0 Optic. Everyone's kind of worried. Oh, my God, what's going on with Optic? Are Heretics the real deal? They get swept away when it comes to the major, and it didn't end here. They went 0-6 on the weekend.
Yeah.
Optic, their first match, they turn up, man. I mean, to go from getting 3-0 by them online to coming back on land and starting off 3-0, I think it was a big momentum setter for the weekend, right? Just getting some confidence back, getting a big win against a team that did knock us off the horse recently.
If we lose this series right here, these are the types of series that can change an entire season, change the entire morale of their team. I know it's just one series, but going 0-6 online to Miami and FaZe coming into the tournament, if you don't come into the tournament and turn things around, that's when things start to compound and pile on. So the fact that we came out hot and won that, I mean, it's a huge reason why we end up getting top 3 at the tournament.
Yep.
When a lot of people had us getting 12th. Like, people literally had us getting 12th going into the tournament.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought that was rogue. I'm not going to lie.
I didn't have us getting 12th, but I want to be completely transparent. I was definitely questioning the type of tournament we were going to have. Like, I think we always have the capability of being at the floor, like a top 4 team. And then, the ceiling
But
being
12th?
a top 4 team.
We went 0-6
Yeah, no.
online. Yeah, we had a bad weekend. We played FaZe.
I didn't see top
Miami was a
12.
bad match, and then we lost to FaZe. It was kind of relatively close against FaZe.
Yeah,
too.
I didn't see 9 through 12. I did see,
potentially
just to
6.
speak bluntly, like I saw, hey, could this
Eighth,
be a
maybe.
top 6, a top 8
If we get a
tournament?
bad bracket.
Like, exactly. So, nonetheless, Optic turn up versus Heretics. Moving forward, this one was not shocking for me because I actually expected this, but I think a lot of people expected the Subliners to bounce back against the Royal Ravens. It was their first match on land. The Royal Ravens come out and 3-1 the New York Subliners, knocking them out in last place. So New York secure top 12. Definitely unexpected. I would say the biggest upset team of the weekend just because of how highly we anticipate this team to place on a consistent basis. And the Royal Ravens turn it up a notch, right? They come out, they take map 1, they take map 2. Map 3, the Subliners start gaining some momentum, and then the Ravens just take it back with map 4, 250 to 128, not even close. So the Ravens turn up, and then
You got to think New York.
it sparks some questions.
You got to think New York is they're definitely not comfortable right now to go in, get 12th. They're a very good team.
I don't think they're worried personally yet, though.
No, not
like, they
worried.
shouldn't be worried. Like, I still feel like their team culture is so developed and confident that, like, this isn't a team that's, like, internally freaking out, like, we need to make a change. Like, they're like, okay, let's get back on the horse and get to it.
Well, I also feel like this new patch coming out helps them because now you can kind of leave that tournament in the past and try to just build and grow on this new patch. Forget about the last one. Be a goldfish?
Yeah.
You got to be a goldfish if you're New York. You got a new patch coming out. A lot of the players are starting to play ranked. You've seen all the pros starting to pick up rank now. They're on that patch. An opportunity to, again, just get back in front of the group after falling short at the event.
Yeah. Royal Ravens turned it up in that series. Moving forward, LAG beats the LA Thieves 3-1, and Thieves had...
You said you weren't going to go through every series. You've gone through every series, I think.
Yeah, but I'm being brief with some of them. Like, for example, I'm going to say LAG
right.
beat Thieves. That one was kind of an up in the air one. I don't think anybody had a heavy favorite. I did have LAG favored going into it. Thieves are in trouble, and we'll talk about them.
They can't win a hard point
a little bit later.
I mean, we'll talk about them later, but they can't win a hard point.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
they're
Jim.
struggling. Legion beat the Heretics 3-0. So once again, Heretics go 0-6 map count. Not one we expected.
That was
I
surprising.
do want to say the fact that Vegas won the series with Purge dropping a 0.4 was very impressive. And I do say that with the notion that Purge did turn it up a notch in their next series. So I was like, oh my God, that's bad. And then he did come back and play well in their next series. But moving forward, Surge beat Breach 3-2. We will touch on Breach a little later. Surge had a solid weekend. Breach just couldn't get any searches under their belt, and they go out top 12 at their home major, which, of course, is disappointing with a crowd like that.
Yeah,
they obviously wanted to stick around a bit longer.
We were harping on their search and destroy, because when you look at the Breach on paper, you'd think that team would have some better results in search and destroy, and they've just been struggling in it as a mode. But they are going up against a strong team in search in Seattle, and I believe they played Terminal map number 5, which is Seattle's bread and butter.
Yeah.
Well,
we were both worried. I mean, if Breach lost a respawn, they were in trouble. Surge looked very good in search the entire weekend. Moving forward, LAG beats Vegas 3-2. Vegas cannot close a fucking series.
Wait, hold on. I just want to say real quick. Money Demon, he said he's trying to catch them 1v1 fades next. Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm doing the 1v1s again for a couple events.
Yeah.
So that was people's chance.
And it won't be me, I don't think.
That was people's chance. I'm not going to say the result. Sorry to get off topic. I'm not going to say the result. Go ahead, Zin.
You're good. But yeah, LAG beat Vegas. Vegas simply cannot close the series. They get reverse swept by LAG. Vegas closes the series earlier in the weekend, but they cannot get it done versus LAG. So we'll talk about Vegas again. Purge did turn it up a notch in that series, so I wanted to highlight that. Moving forward, Surge defeats the Royal Ravens 3-2. I can't lie, I was kind of rooting for the Royal Ravens here. I'm a big TJ Haley fan. I wanted to see Ravens make that run, but Surge had some great S&D all weekend, right? And I think it's the reason they won this series here, right? Clutching up yet another Game 5. I will say Royal Ravens, they still have limited search reps because they do have a new roster, right? They're bringing Tej temporarily for Real, which who knows what's going to happen there. Is Tej going to stay in the roster? They end up dropping GodRx for Fellow. GodRx then retires. Fellow, I think, improved his team tenfold, both the addition of him and Tej. The Royal Ravens, despite losing 3-2 to Surge, in my opinion, look a lot better.
They look a ton better, Zin. Royal Ravens are in that pack now where I feel like they could potentially upset some of our top doggies. I know some people might not agree with that, but I could see Royal Ravens coming in and maybe causing some upsets now if they keep that team. I do want them to keep this team. I think it's a weird one, though, because I don't know how good Real is. Like, I want to keep it objective and not just say Tej needs to be on this team because he's one of my best friends. I thought Tej played great, and I think Tej is very good at this game. I think his work ethic issue has been fixed, so I've heard, and I think Tej is very good. That being said, feeling like Tej out there, baby.
That being said, I've never seen Real ceiling. None of us actually know how good Real is. We've seen him on high ping.
Haven't seen him on land.
We haven't seen the true potential of Real. Only the players maybe on that team do.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, is the visa situation going to get figured out? Are they going to move forward with Tej? Are they looking at other options besides Tej and or Fellow? Who knows?
Yep.
But I did like what I saw from the Royal Ravens. And I want you to kick us off. The next match we saw was an Optic FaZe matchup.
Yep.
Going in the favor of FaZe 3-2.
Super close series here. This was the boys' test. Honestly, we had the person winning this series. You said whoever wins this is going to go to the finals, and I don't know if you said. Did you say go to the finals or win the event?
I think I said win, so I was wrong in that capacity.
Okay, well, FaZe ends up going on to get second, but this was one of the matches of the tournament. I mean, you're in a winner's semis. You're one match away from securing top 3, and we go to a Game 5 with a reset in that Game 5. There was a lot going on around that as well. But yeah, we end up getting blood on Game 5 game resets. Everyone was like, holy shit, momentum shift. After a crazy map 4 finish. We just fall short to FaZe, man. That's where we kind of struggled this weekend, was in the search and destroy. If we can fix our search and destroy as a team, it looks like right now our respawns are looking crazy.
I mean, map 2 search was the real kicker. I mean, we were up 4-2 in that. If a couple things go our way and we just iron it up, I think we take that series. But FaZe is a very, very tough search team to beat.
They are.
Each round is a difficult round, and we couldn't get it done. But
I would say that was match of the tournament for me. In terms of enjoyment to watch, I would say that was match of the tournament.
Yeah, I agree. Because, I mean, if you look at the rest, FaZe play a little better versus us in the rematch on Sunday, and then Ultra really take care of FaZe. So I do think, competitively speaking, hype around at Optic FaZe, it was my most fun match to watch.
That match was crazy. I mean, talk about, I usually get pretty stressed when I'm watching our team play. I was very stressed during that one. You know I'm stressed when I stop talking, and I kind of stopped talking and let the gameplay kind of speak for itself in that series. I was definitely still talking, but I was stressed.
Yeah.
Straight up. And we end up losing that one. I think if we end up winning that one, are we in that grand final? I think
How
so.
do you know? I sure hope.
I think
But
we are.
mean,
I think we probably lose to Toronto.
I don't think anybody was beating Toronto this
I
tournament.
think we probably lose to Toronto, but with that mental edge, or with the mental edge on FaZe, you're now waiting. You're now coming into the series after losing. I think we're in that grand final. Personally, you can disagree with me if you'd like, but I don't think anybody was beating Toronto at this event. So I will say that non-biasedly, Toronto looked like they were in a league of their own.
I agree.
At this event.
Speaking of Toronto, they beat Rocker 3-0 next series. Don't want to harp on that too much. Rocker looked great all weekend, but Ultra, once again, just a league above, sort of a league above, I think, when it comes to Rocker. No disrespect. I think Rocker played great, but I have Ultra as a league above FaZe, and you know what I mean, right? Just I have Ultra up there, so Rocker lose 3-0 to Ultra.
They're S+.
Then Optic Texas takes out Seattle Surge 3-1. That was, I don't think, really a lot to talk about there.
Just respawn dominance.
Yeah, sort of how we expected. Yeah. Obviously, going against Surge anytime, we did not want that one going to a Game 5. Luckily, the respawns looked great because, of course, Surge ended up taking the Search and Destroy.
Respawn dominance.
But it was convincing when it comes to the respawns. But thank fuck it was, because I would have been worried Game 5. I think Surge are a great Search team. I think no matter who you are, they are a tough Search team to beat, which goes without saying, right? You have Illy and Hook on the same team. Arcety's always been a strong Search and Destroy player. Abuza, I don't really know on a consistent basis.
He had some banger Search matches.
Search. Yeah, but he had that great 1v3.
Yep.
Was that 1v3 on LAN?
He was moving, man. That
was online before. That was on our last show. But
he was moving in the searches. I'll give him that.
Moving forward, Rocker take out LAG 3-2. Kind of an up-in-the-air series, but I did have Rocker taking that based on the weekend. Just to speak on Rocker briefly, I mean, Linz played consistent throughout the online split, then going into LAN, going off. Awakening turned it up on LAN, so shout out to Awakening, because once again, he was pretty bad online before the event, then he turned it up a notch. Vivid played great. Lamar played great. Rocker, I mean, they come out of the event top 4, and I don't think many people were anticipating Rocker placing top 4.
No, they were playing better towards the end of the online split, but I still don't think people had. I mean, we had them losing
through top 8.
Well, we had them losing round 1 to New York, and at that point, it's tough to kind of fight your way back, especially if you're not a top talented team. It's kind of hard to fight your way through the losers bracket unless you get a couple things that go your way. So I mean, that win over New York already was super impressive because again, they lose there. I have them getting probably top 6 at the highest.
Yeah, they were in. If they lost that, they were in a rough boat. But moving forward, Optic against Rocker, we win that one 3-1. Once again, Rocker played great. I think once again we turned it up, especially in the respawns when it comes to the Rocker matchup. So
right now it's S+ Toronto, S FaZe. You can put us in A, and everyone else is like B or below.
I agree.
In my opinion.
So, yeah, we lose a close control 3-2. Invasion control happens. But a pretty convincing series nonetheless in every other map. 250 to 150, 250 to 176 in the hard point, to 6-2 search. The boys look good versus Rocker, but I don't want to take anything away from Rocker. Like, I'm very impressed with where the Rocker is at, and I think their bounce back based on how their season started is very impressive. So, shout out to Rocker. They placed top 4 and turned a lot of heads.
Yeah.
But moving towards,
guys,
I guess, the meat of the tournament.
I didn't have a pool day. We had content today. It's hard to have a pool day when it's 65.
Yeah,
it's a cold-ass pool.
It's fucking beautiful out here in Dallas.
That's a cold-ass fucking pool.
I'm hoping it stays like 60 to 70 for as long as possible, because once it hits like 90 here in Texas, I don't like going outside. To the meat of the tournament, Ultra take out FaZe 3-1. Ultra looked dominant all tournament long. Really not much to highlight there. FaZe beats us 3-1. Yeah, we can highlight this series a bit more. The first map could have went either way. I will say FaZe kind of bottled a couple rotations. Like I'm thinking of a Diner Hill they got broke on. Also a P1 they could have hold, but Ultra's slaying looked dominant. And then the Search and Destroy. Ultra looked just dominant. 6-1 against FaZe is a very impressive match. FaZe won the control 3-2, and then you start thinking, okay, are FaZe here? Are they going to start turning it up a notch? No. 250 to 128, a dominant hard point from Ultra.
Yeah, Toronto look crazy, man. They look fucking crazy. I mean, if they stay in this current form, I mean, we could see another New York from last year. That's I don't see anyone beating them right now with how they looked. But new patch.
I'd be pretty pissed if I was Ultra. I mean, I'm sure they're still very confident, but the entire game has changed. New hills, new spawns, all of these pros are learning a brand new game now. Granted, I do think by the time matches start, I still see the top tier teams being the top tier teams. I don't think a patch makes a top 12 team a top 4 team. I don't see it happening that way. But I guess we'll see. Our second to last match of the tournament is Optic versus FaZe. We got a rematch. Unfortunately, goes in FaZe's favor yet again. And this one was a little more convincing. It was 3-1. I don't think it was as entertaining as the first series. They take first map 250 to 170. They also win the search. And once you go down 2-0 versus FaZe, it's a tough one.
I just want to say something. I was kind of expecting FaZe to come out a little bit flustered and frantic after their loss to Toronto. It was like the complete opposite. So I got to give props to those boys on FaZe. Their guns, it looked like they didn't skip a beat whenever they spawned in against us in that losers final. I mean, their guns on that terminal. There were some situations where we had a chance to get back into the game, and they would just like 4-dead us, and it was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no.
So shouts out to FaZe, man, because they mentally bounced back incredibly fast after that loss to Toronto.
Yeah,
which is not easy to do all the time.
And then the grand final. I mean, we all saw it unfold. It was an ultra 4-1 dominant victory. FaZe only takes one map, and I think after the first 2 maps, we were like, okay, Ultra's winning this series, potentially in a sweep. FaZe takes a 3-1 invasion control. Nonetheless, despite map 4 and map 1 were very close. These were very close hard points, 250 to 239, 250 to 237. The S&D, I will say, dominant from Ultra, 6-2, 6-2. I mean, FaZe weren't even in that matchup.
And they're playing a FaZe team that was like 9-1 in the game mode coming into the tournament. It's like, I don't know what their record is now, but they were 9-1 in that game mode coming in. Toronto was like 6-3. So I don't know what they did in Search and Destroy coming into the event, but they looked crazy. Like none of their searches were really that close. It was like 6-2, 6-3. Like they looked crazy in Search. Buttered, you might say.
Yep. But I mean, yeah, what a weekend for matches. Ladies and gentlemen, that was our weekend review. Tried to breeze through some of them.
We didn't breeze through it at all. You actually were very long-winded there, Zin.
Well, when you really look at this weekend's matchups, you kind of have to talk about some of these matchups because Rocker goes crazy, Heretics get upset. I'm sorry if that was too long. I tried breezing through it because I thought there was more to skip over. Nonetheless,
you did great.
Moving forward, please intro our next segment.
Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's our team of the week. Or team of the weekend, rather.
Yeah.
Our major one team of the week. Who stood out? We usually do this with the chat, but honestly, I think chat is going to have the exact same people that we do because it is too damn easy to pick these players out.
Damn right. I'll kick us off. Ladies and gentlemen, first on the team of the weekend is none other than Chris Simp Lair of Atlanta FaZe. I mean, Simp the entire season so far has been crazy.
Yeah. He was front runner for MVP.
Yep.
Do I think he's still in the conversation? Absolutely. But now some of those Toronto players, you gotta think they just fly up. But Simp the Pimp, he was doing his thing all weekend long.
Yep.
Not really much to say. He's been an MVP for him, and I think he continued to be an MVP for him throughout the weekend. He looked great on LAN as well.
Yeah. And then going forward, why don't you announce our second SMG?
Next up, it's Toby Kleenex. I mean, that guy has been crazy. He is your MVP by the CDL. He's your MVP.
Correct.
We thought a little bit differently, perhaps, but he is the CDL's MVP of the weekend, which I could totally see. I mean, he was doing his thing.
I mean, Kleenex, once again, what's been so impressive about him this season, I think, is his consistency. Like, with such a fast-paced play style, it's very hard to stay consistent through game modes and through maps. And Toby Kleenex has done an incredible job at just keeping it well-ironed and well-oiled every single game mode, every single map. He goes 25-6 in a map we watched. The guy was on one pretty much all weekend.
And I just want to say something really quick, because a lot of teams, they build their submachine gun roles as, I mean, look at some of the top teams. FaZe, they have Simp, a slower, more pre-aim heavy sub, and then they have aBeZy, an absolute headbutter, first blood entry. Yeah. Our team, you got Shotzzy, same as aBeZy, wants to get in there super quick, fast. Pred, a little bit slower, more kill heavy, slay heavy. The thing I'll say about Toronto's sub duo is they both are like the best of both worlds. Like, I feel like they can both kick it on whenever. Like, they're so good. Like, our team, if Shotzzy doesn't sneak through, where do you think AG's at?
Yeah.
He's in a cred somewhere. He's playing like a cut. You know what I'm saying? Their team, they do everything. They do both roles so well, both subs. And I'll give them that.
Both subs' pace variation is like to a T. I do think just speaking candidly, I do think Kleenex is a bit of a faster player than Envoy on a consistent basis, but Envoy can still kick it up to that pace. It's just I think Toby plays consistently more aggressive, but I do agree. Like the pace variation between them two
it's not as drastic.
Is as good as it gets.
It's not as drastic. Because, I mean, also look at Hydra and Kismet. Hydra, more slower, pre-aim heavy, going to guarantee his kills. Kismet, the selfless one that will go in there, doesn't give a fuck about his stats.
Out of the top 4 teams, they're definitely the most on-pace duo. I agree with you.
Yeah. And I think that's a big reason why they find so much success. And they found so much success in the first term of the year. They looked incredible in every single game mode, and that comes a lot to teamwork, and they have great teamwork. So shouts out to Toronto. We kind of went off topic. Yeah. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, it's another Toronto player.
Could I introduce him?
Go ahead.
It's Telephone Pole Neck. It's Dildo Neck. Guys, it's Scrap. You guys know him. You love him. He hopped on the watch party. How do you not put the guy in here? I mean, he was lights out.
Lights out. Absolutely insane. It's Ernie. I mean, this guy, he's been a force ever since he's joined the league. Yeah. And as much as it pains me to admit it. It pains me.
Well, we actually love the guy too because we love him. First off, I loved having him on the watch party because everyone sees. Some people see banter and they think there's actual beef.
Yeah.
There is nothing but love between. I can speak for myself, and I'm assuming you, between Scrap and the boys. I mean, Scrap is fun to have on. I think, as someone who watches the CDL, obviously I've been involved for a while, but I think if you're a casual fan or viewer, you just love seeing that type of personality in the league. So, Scrap. He backs up his beef, and that's something you got to respect. Even when he's losing, he's still talking shit.
Yeah.
He gets on stage after winning a championship and goes, "Fuck champs, we're back." Blah blah blah. Scrap goes crazy.
And that's kind of how you have to look at it. I mean, they come out. Maybe you're a little worried when they go into that final against FaZe after how the last final went that they were in a couple months ago. No, they came out. They handled business. Went crazy. And then last but not least, I'll let you introduce this one.
He's one of my favorites. It's Selim of Atlanta FaZe. Consistent through and through. A clutch player. A player you hate to see against you in a 1v1. I don't think there's much more to add other than how consistently annoying he is to play against. Always slaying out. Always clutch. I remember that control on Invasion where he just was pretty much spawn trapping the team from the mid-tank.
Hold on, chat. Just
wait.
Hold your horses, chat. Go ahead, Zin. Keep on going.
But yeah,
I just got to tell him real quick to hold
Selim, you got to give him his flowers. It's consistent. I saw some criticism of his gameplay on Twitter. I think it was Mud Dog, pipe down. That's MC. If you're talking shit to MC, you're talking shit to me. MC, great all weekend long.
Yeah, MC. I mean, I think I saw a stat come out yesterday. He's like tied for #1 KD at event or something like that already, and he hasn't played nearly as many. The kid's an absolute beast. But before chat rips us limb from limb,
we have an MVP for you guys.
We have our MVP of Major 1. It is Jamie Craven. Insight is our MVP on the breakdown. I know we said Kleenex was given it by the CDL. Jamie is my personal MVP of the tournament.
Yeah, I think a lot of people talk about Scrap, obviously, because of how controversial of a personality he is, so it makes sense. A lot of people are talking about Kleenex, but I think Insight is truly such a good glue player. When it comes to search and destroy, one of the most clutch, one of the most consistent search and destroy players, right?
He's so clutch.
He's a very consistent pillar for this Ultra team who have a lot of moving parts. You have Scrap, who's a very aggressive AR. You have Envoy and Kleenex, who we talked about their pace variation. Insight's role on this team is so pivotal to their success, and it showed, especially in the grand finals. A 1.4 against FaZe in a grand final is incredible.
That's incredible work out of the kid. I mean, a 1.4 against anybody in a grand final is insane. To do it against FaZe, that's impressive, man. Everyone's saying they're saying he looks like me.
I can kind of see it, but I mean, we can go in circles.
Is it the glasses? What is it?
We can go in circles all day about Insight, or we could just talk to the guy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 1v2 with the man of the hour, Insight. There he is. What's up, Jamie?
Jamie.
What's going on? What's going on?
What's up, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. That's some introduction as well. Wow.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Hey.
I mean, it fucking pains me. You know it, but it's a good introduction.
The glaze is unreal, but you deserve it. Last time we were speaking was in the casino.
Oh, yeah.
We had a great old time, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we did.
I-
Zin left early, but that's all good.
Of course,
Well, I
after
didn't-
the big win, you
I
got to
didn't-
you got to
I
have a
didn't
good
feel
time
too
out
hot.
there.
I lost. I am 0-3 in the Boston casino. I've never won money there. And, dude, real quick, for what it's worth, I took out money, and then I lost it all, and I wasn't going to take out more. And then Tej asked me to take out money for him because there was a limit on his card or whatever.
gotta spot him.
So I go to take money out for Tej. So I take out money for him, and someone else gave him money 10 seconds before I did. So he was like, I don't need it anymore. So now I'm just sitting there with this cash, and I'm like,
Gotta
let's
go
go
spend
play it, and I lost it all. So
Let's not make-
so I wasn't too vibey at the casino, and then I wasn't feeling too hot. But
They're calling you
Um,
Yapperson, Zin. We got Jamie on.
well,
You're talking.
we were talking about. He just said I left the casino early. So it's not yapping. I'm giving a little more context as to why I left the casino early.
Jamie, first off, congratulations on the win.
Thank
You
you.
guys, I mean, we've been glazing you pretty much the whole show. We put you an S+ above everybody else. But we'll get to that a little bit later. Talk to everybody because I actually don't know your come up story. We usually do this when we haven't had someone on for a while. What's your come up story in Call of Duty look like?
You don't know it?
And leave Zin out of it. Don't bring Zin into this.
What do you mean? His come up stories, I got dropped for him.
I know.
And
That's
then
why
the
I'm
team
saying
goes
leave you out
crazy.
of it. Give me the earlier than Zin.
It's earlier than that, yeah. Like, we're talking like 2015. We're talking like,
As far back as you can remember.
well, it definitely all started back in like Ghost, End of Ghost. Started with the GBs, and then I think back then I was looking for a team on the GB website, got a team, and then
Wow.
when you start going for like them 100-0s and stuff like that, obviously we were flying through that. So we're like, what can we do to take it to the next level? Obviously get on a team back then, and then AW comes round, and we're like, let's just go to an event, see what happens. Go to my first event, I get third at the first event, which was like, I had all the European teams at the time, like Epsilon,
Was it
TCMs.
an MLG event?
No, it's like a European event. It was like Amateur Pro. Oh, yeah, I was on the.
I was gonna say
international
because I was
stage.
gonna say that's actually I don't remember Jamie getting third in an event. That would have blown my mind. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just playing locals, I guess you could call it, back in the day in Europe. And it had all the teams. It had like your Epsilons, your TCMs, or like Marquee Bs and all that stuff. And then soon after that, I kept going to events. Earned the name Cash Out Craven back in the day because I was known for going to events and always getting top 3, cashing out. And then the 18 plus came round, so I was stuck there for 2 years, just like under 18, kind of just playing COD. And then finally, my chance comes round. World War II wasn't a great season, to be honest. I was bouncing from foreign team to foreign team. Went to a couple international events, was getting like top 48s and stuff like that, like nothing to go home about. And then I think what was the off season before MW?
Before MW?
Before MW, before franchise, it was Black Ops 4, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
BO4.
Obviously, yeah,
Everyone
4,
had
yeah.
to, or no, not everyone. It was 5v5. Yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, so Black Ops 4, obviously we had that breakout of champs run, I guess you could say. We went 3-0 in groups, beating LG, beating UIU, I think it was at the time.
Were you teaming with Toby at that one?
Yeah, I was playing with Toby.
Okay, so you and Toby came out together pretty much because I remember that event. Toby was insane as well.
Was I on UIU? Yeah, you must have beat me then.
Yeah, I think.
Dude, you're an
'cause
absolute douche.
Yeah, you had that 1v1 with Skies, right, in the groups?
That was good.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell no.
That's a famous one. You're a
my
fucking
bad.
real prick
but-
coming on our show and talking to me
And then
like
the
that.
rest is history. I think everyone
Yeah.
knows the story from then on.
Well, no, listen. He obviously we're on Ultra. He gets the call up. I was never, of course, mad at him. He did nothing wrong. And I remember his first match. They lost to Thieves, but he set the search and destroy kill record on Miami Search, and I was salty about that.
That's
so
impressive.
I texted JCap, and I was like, "What the fuck are you shitters doing?" That this guy, that God you won, but I was like, "What are you shitters doing?" And I mean, listen, you got to call it how it is. You got to swallow your pride. Like, obviously, the team went crazy with you on it. So fair play to you, man. Fair
Yeah, I'm
play.
sorry, Zim. I'm sorry about
Hey,
that.
man, it's not your fault. It's all right. You want to pick? Why are you staring at me all awkward now?
I'm not. Whoa, I'm
I'm
not staring at you
I was
anyway.
anticipating you to tune
I
in.
wasn't staring at you anyway. I just looked at you.
Yeah, but I was anticipating you to pick up the conversation. You're just staring
I
at me.
thought you were still going.
No,
Oh my
But-
God! Sorry, Jamie.
No, you're good.
Nonetheless, you guys are here, and I feel like I could ask you the standard question, how does it feel to be a champion? I feel like those are pretty straightforward questions. Talk to everybody about the things that you think Ultra does different than others. For example, the breathing exercises, if you guys are still doing those. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think actually separates Ultra from the rest of teams? Because you can say, oh, yeah, it's great to win. We're on top of the world. What do you guys do different?
I think the biggest thing that I feel like is very underrated in COD is team culture, right? It's like, you've seen us doing all the hand stretches and all that stuff, and make jokes about it and all that. But like, doing stuff like that as a team is like so important. I feel like just creates like that unity in the team, like getting up and doing something, getting away from the monitors, getting away from the bots, and laughing and joking, doing your stretches or going for dinner, or whatever it may be. You do as a team, as long as you're doing it together and creating that like brotherhood outside of the game. I feel like that reflects in game as well. Because in the past, like when I was in AM, I'm sure you guys as well. You play with people you don't like to play with, or you don't like them, or whatever, and that can correlate in game to where like you don't want to make a play for them, or you get you just argue about the smallest things for no reason just because you don't like someone or that kind of stuff. So I think the biggest thing for us is definitely the team culture side of things.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely shows, and Dylan kind of mentioned that as well. Whenever we had him on, that like coming into your team, it was just so easy because you guys made it so easy for him to just join and pick things up and really get into that brotherhood, which is what all the best teams in the world are. I mean,
Yeah.
You gotta form that cohesion outside of the game to perform and want to perform for each other, just like you said. But I got a question to you about Scrap a little bit, because Scrap is he's the chihuahua of the team. He's always yapping, he's barking at people. You though, you're always calm as a cucumber. And again, I'm going to glaze you a little bit here. It shows in your S&D clutch prowess. You always win every single clutch. But how is it teaming with Scrap when he's out there talking all the shit, and then you're kind of on the other side of things? It's like you're on the opposite side, where you're kind of more calm and reserved.
Yeah, I'd say we're more like yin and yang in that sense. Like I'm the calm guy that brings him down. I feel like every like grand finals we've been in now, there's always like a clip of me like pointing at him or like saying calm down or that kind of stuff. But I mean, I love playing with Scrap. He's got that puppy energy. I feel like he backs his beef. He says all this stuff, but like he backs it, man. Like, what are you gonna say to the kid when he's dropping like 1.2s on your favorite teams all the time and talking his shit? You know what I'm saying? Like,
People hate it.
Yeah, I mean puppy energy. You can feed off that in game as well when he's frying. But yeah, no, he backs his beef and he's a beast.
I remember when we were talking about the Skid Row. Was it the 1v2 where he just chowed him on God steps,
Yeah.
and then you're sitting
You can
there
watch
like,
it back. I literally turned and pointed at him and said, "Oh, we're challenging, are we? We're challenging." Like,
Yeah.
ignoring me.
yeah. Then you end up clutching it out. But I just find the dynamic interesting because I just do. It's like he's the slower AR that's always posted, making the correct play, and then you got Scrap, the young gun who wants to fucking get crazy.
Oh yeah.
Go crazy on him.
Dope chasing.
Yeah.
So the entire chat's talking about it, how calm your guys' communication is in game, and how, I guess, precise, and it's just the perfect calm relay of information. It just flows well. How much, if you guys do you guys spend specifically on comms? Or obviously I feel like you and Toby, best friends, the comms between you two have kind of been sort of seamless since you came to the roster in Cold War. And then how was the addition of Scrap and Envoy sort of added to that? Because obviously I feel like Envoy's always had great comms. He's sort of one of the smartest players that we still have around. So talk about the team's comms.
Yeah, it's a weird one because obviously when I first came into the league, like the comms were like that as well. Like me, Ben, Cam, and Toby, the comms were like very calm. And I remember when they first started listening with our team after I joined, and it was like, these comms are terrible. They're too calm. There's no energy. This is our time when we're losing. We lost to Thieves. We lost to FaZe, and all that stuff. But then fast forward a few years, we've had different parts. We've obviously brought Scrap in, brought Dylan now, and the comms are still the same. And now everyone loves them. But it's not something we've ever like talked about or anything like that. It's kind of just came with the team, I guess. Maybe it's just me and Toby. Maybe we're calm people. I don't know. But I like it because it's like, let's say I'm across the map and I died to someone, right? In another team, maybe someone's screaming, he's weak, he's weak, he's weak, but no one's anywhere near. And it's like such a useless like waste of energy. Whereas like in our team, if someone's stressing some up, you know that's like the most important thing on the map at that current moment. Whereas like, I guess, yeah, if someone's quiet, it's kind of just like, yeah, I mean, that's not as big as or as important. So I don't know. It's not something we've ever touched on, but it definitely helps with like comms and stuff in game.
Yeah. I mean, it shows the communication and the cohesion and teamwork. It all makes sense. I just wanted to ask you, coming into the event, obviously you're scrimming everybody, you're playing your online matches, but going into the event, were you guys as dominant as you showed at the event, or did everything kind of just come full circle and just mesh really well when you got up on that stage? Because I predicted y'all to beat FaZe, and a lot of people really were like a little bit like, really? And then you guys came in and just dominated. So did it look that good before the event? I guess is my long story short.
In scrims for like hardpoint and control, I'd say yes. I'd say we definitely have like, since the game's come out, we've looked relatively dominant in scrims, but scrims are scrims, you know, like at the end of the day, I feel like everyone levels up in matches, and that's when you start seeing crazy hardpoints and stuff. I mean, S&D was probably the biggest surprise for me and us as a team. You know, like in the online matches, I think before Christmas and stuff, we were pretty like average, one-dimensional. Like you could watch back our VODs and like we'd be probably doing the same thing over and over again. So S&D was definitely probably the biggest thing. I mean, like I said, hardpoint control was kind of just like in scrims was like that, and we translated it to matches. So that wasn't like a massive shock to us. I mean, to not lose one hardpoint is a massive shock, but S&D was definitely like the biggest thing for us. And we did have big conversations about that as well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want you to give up too much, but what were those? Can you give anything about what those conversations were kind of like? You just said you were one-dimensional, which means that once you show a look, I mean, it's an easy read after you show that look. Again, don't give away too much, but what were those conversations like, if you can share?
I can share, yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is just, like I said, not being one-dimensional. It's like, just like being unreadable in game. I don't like. It's hard to like, I guess, break it down. But like, going into an S&D round is just make sure you have a plan, make sure you stick to the plan, make sure everyone's on the same page. Because I mean, like, you can make a terrible play, but if you're a good team and you do it together, more often than not, you can punish people for it. I felt like that was definitely the biggest talking point. It was just like we weren't together, we weren't on the same page. We're all going to spots. No one knows what they're doing to help another person on the map. And just game plans were all off and everything. It was just kind of a mess, to be honest.
So last thing off of that, I'm sorry, but would you
you're
say
good.
it was more of mid-round adjustments or like pre-round adjustments in your talks?
I'd say it's pre-round adjustments. It's just like, for example, I'd go to a spot on the map, right? And I'd be sat there and I'd be calling some. I'd say, oh, I see blah, 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 blah. Or I'm holding some up. But I'm holding some up and I don't even know who I'm trying to help. Am I trying to help Toby get to a certain spot on the map? Am I like, what am I doing on the map? And that was basically like the biggest like talking point.
Yeah, sorry. Chat's saying it's a federal question. I think, we're getting insight with insight.
Well,
Every team knows this, chat. Every team knows that you have to do this, but it's about how you execute actually doing it, which is the hard part.
there's also just a certain level of trust when you guys are a team like you are. I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, I'm assuming it's as simple as Envoy or CleanX or any of you saying, yo, I'm going to do this, let's do this, and it's done, right? It's less about this NFL-like playbook where you go over every single play and more so who's feeling what and when. Of course, you have some plays that you iron over, but for the most part, it's like trusting the intuition of the team. And you obviously have 4 players who want to do that. So you guys looked lights out. My final question is sort of just a fun, sort of going off the back of you talking about the team cohesion outside of the game. What's a day off like in Toronto? What activities are you doing? What restaurants are you guys hitting up? Like, what is the day in the life of the team when you're just vibing as bros?
Well, obviously it's winter right now, so it gets pretty cold. So day off normally maybe just going to local or something nearby.
Local public eatery.
Oh yeah, couple drinks, just chilling. If the summer's out though, sun's out. Wow, what can't you do in Toronto? Go for a walk. You could hit up multiple spots, maybe Sugo.
It's a good spot.
Some good spots in Toronto. Day off though, definitely outside, definitely walking, enjoying it, soaking in the 6 whilst you've got it. And
damn right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately for me, The sun came out in Texas today, so we went out, and only half of my face got fucking burned. I don't even know how it makes sense. Jamie, that's all that I really got for you. Thank you for the interview. That was a great 1v2.
Yeah.
Wait, Riley has a question.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
All right, great. So with there's a lot of talk about rosters right now, just post-event, teams looking to make changes. What has it meant to you to have like the trust of the organization in Toronto that you're kind of a staple player for that franchise, where it seems like a lot of teams are quick to make changes, they're quick to move on from people. It seems like they've really put a lot of trust in you and Kleenex.
I felt like that
to build the team and keep that culture intact up there. So what does that mean to you just as a player, especially in like today's Call of Duty?
It's definitely like an insane feeling. I can't lie. Like when every time the season ends, obviously I've been in Toronto. This is my 4th season now, and you see all these teams that bouncing around from organization to organization, and I guess there's like a level of uncertainty and stuff like that. But having that trust behind you kind of like translate into game as well. Like I guess it translates into the calm aspect of things. Like there's no stress on my shoulders. There's none of that. It's kind of just plain sailing, doing my thing. Trying to be the best player I possibly can. But yeah, big ups to Toronto. I mean, they've shown me a lot of love over the years, and I'm trying to repay that with some tournament wins.
Well, you've done just that, Jamie. I mean, Riley coming on the mic, that is something that I did not expect
dude.
today.
Out of nowhere, just
That's
like,
the
hold
first time, Jamie. That's the first time ever he's came on the mic.
He's like a narrator. I have a question.
Yeah, I didn't even think that you could hear him, honestly.
That's great.
But that was a good question, Riley.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, that was a good question. But Jamie, we're going to let you go. I think the interview's been like 20 minutes or so now. Thank you so much for coming on. I mean, that was one of our best 2v1s ever. That was very insightful. No pun intended.
Nice. Turn the stream on, man. Give people some insight POV.
Yeah.
I mean, I
think I have to do that after this.
I think a lot of people will tune in, especially for rank play. Obviously, you guys are now in the new patch. And well, actually, yeah, one super final question.
Go ahead.
When do scrim start again, and how much are you guys like in tune with the new patch?
Start again on Friday, and I've only played rank so far, so it's hard to gauge where the spawns are at and stuff. But it's back to square one by the sounds of it from like speaking to the challenger players and stuff. But I mean, hey ho, we'll just do it again, I guess.
Yeah,
Damn
spawns are pretty crazy. I'm anxious to see how you guys make it work, because you always do. So I'm anxious to see how the Toronto Ultra and Insight make it work. Jamie, again, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, bro. That was great.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. Well, I mean, we'll talk to you again, but for the show, good luck in the rest of the season. Again, congrats on Major 1, because you guys looked incredible.
Congrats again, brother.
Appreciate it, bros.
Yep. Later, bud. Have a good day.
You too.
That was great, man.
Yeah, that was an amazing one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our boy Jamie. But yeah, he's a great guy. I mean,
that was great.
He's always been one of the, I would say, quieter players in the CDL, just in terms of,
well, especially when you're next to Scrap.
Yeah, but he's a really humble guy, and he's always been nasty ever since he's joined. So.
Yeah. Damn right.
Yeah, shouts out to Insight, man, and that was a great 2v1. Chat, was that not a good
yeah.
2v1, man? That was great. He was very
that was
well
insightful,
spoken.
No pun intended.
Correct.
We asked some
you just
fun
took
questions.
my joke.
We asked some things about the team. I will say, despite how fun that is, we now need to talk about some teams that are absolutely dog piss. And I'm just gonna say that bluntly, guys. Welcome to Thin Ice.
Yeah, this one's always interesting, man. Thin Ice is always tough to talk about. Obviously, being post players, it's kind of hard to come in and try to tell players that are playing now what's going wrong. But, I mean, we have to, man. We have to bring it back for this one. We have a couple teams that have been struggling that we didn't really foresee, or just some teams that were struggling that we did see coming.
Yeah.
And I'll kick it off. First and foremost, sorry, Nade's shot. It's the Thieves.
As to be expected with their tournament performance, and, of course, the online.
That's not the Thieves. That is not the Thieves,
well,
Riley.
Should we just talk about Vegas first at that point? I mean, good Lord, they can't close a damn series.
All right, well, we can start talking about the Thieves until the graphic is ready. But Thieves, man, it's one of those teams coming into the season that we had mid-tier, middle of the pack. I really like their sub-duo in Afro and Joe, at least what I saw from last year.
Ghosty got costed.
yeah.
Just, I had to sneak that in there. Ghosty got fucking costed this event, dude. The guy was absolutely unreal. and they simply could not win despite him going crazy.
Dude, Dan was going crazy today.
Yeah.
Or not today, at the tournament. Dan was going crazy. He was leading the team in pretty much all the stat categories, and he was doing his thing out there. People were saying, get Dan Ghosty some help. But what I want to highlight about this team is their hard point. It doesn't make any sense to me how this team only has one hard point win. Or is it 2 now? Did they win 1 at the major? Is it 2 or 1? Chat, help me out here. Fact check me real quick. I don't know if they won 1 at the major. I know they lost both. Oh, no, they didn't. They started in losers and they lost both in their series. Yeah, they're like 1-14 in hard point. It's insane.
I can't give you like an analytical reason as to why, because I feel like this team should at the very least be like a 500 hardpoint team. And it should be like 7-7 or 6-8, or it should not be this awful record, and they should not be this consistently bad at a respawn mode. If anything, looking at this roster, I could see how maybe they'd struggle in search a bit, but you don't think that they'd be this far from being good at respawn. And to say it bluntly, I'm very worried about this team, and I have no idea if they're going to stay together because they had a bad online split and an awful major. I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah, I don't know, chat. We'll ask you guys this one. Do you think this team stays together? As of right now, I would probably say no.
Yeah.
I think they're going to make at least one change. I'm not sure who it's going to be, but I think Dan Ghosty's safe.
Well, that guy got costed
Dan
once
Ghosty
again. Let me just co-sign that once more. Co-sign what I said. Ghosty got fucking costed. I cannot say that enough. He looked unbelievable. What's weird though is we saw some statements from the coaches. Shane talked about how in scrims they looked pretty damn good. They just didn't translate it to matches. And if you look at the team, it's not like any of these guys are strangers to live tournaments. These are guys who have been there before. Camby was one of the best players in the world in Cold War. He's one of my best friends. I have to say it candidly and non-biasedly, right? He just doesn't look that consistently solid, right? He looks like he's struggling. Afro and Joe are confusing to me because I thought this duo would maybe even thrive with one another, and I don't think either of them have looked good. Ghosty was the only one who looked good at the major, and this team has some stuff to figure out.
I thought that this team was going to be way better at hardpoint than they are. And it's not even like they're bad at it, man. It's like, and I'm trying not to roast them as hard as I can, but they are just, it's insane to me.
Well, speaking of the devil.
Speaking of, it just comes out from Breaking Point. The LA Thieves are targeting a multiple person change. Nothing finalized, but the team has been in communication with top unsigned talent and have evaluated at least 4 players over the weekend. Their goal is to potentially make multiple roster changes.
Think this was planned? You think they're watching the show and they were like, fire the tweet out?
I don't think so.
That'd be cool.
I don't think that was their plan at all, Zin.
That'd be cool. Come on, you never know. I think Ghosty's safe, but it says multiple changes. Could 3 players get dropped? Do they keep one?
I think they're probably going to make a 2-person change based
If they keep one, who do they keep? I don't think any of the 3 have looked good enough to be like, to know which one is safe.
Well, and it says Breaking Point. They're targeting Kremp, which again, this is not for sure. This is rumor. But Kremp, I mean, he's a sub player, so one of the 2 subs looking at benching.
Well, no need to talk about it further. We all know Thieves are struggling. You saw it there. They're looking at multiple changes. We don't know who yet, but of course, as roster changes happen, we'll be playing some ranked the next few days.
Absolutely.
And if more stuff develops, we'll be talking about it on our normal streams. But it's time. I'm sure you guys won't be surprised by this, but we're going to talk about the Vegas Legion. They can't close for shit.
Yeah, this team's weird to me. It's weird because this team, they get to the finish line and then just don't finish, it's a lot easier said than done. I will say that. But this team has been reverse swept how many times now? 3, 4?
Yeah.
And that's kind of crazy. Like that, at that point, it's starting to become an issue and a problem.
They must be watching the show because now Jake Hale was reporting that Joe Deceives is getting dropped for Kremp.
Okay, well.
So they're fucking live tweeting. They're like, yo, if there's a Vegas announcement next, just know it's no coincidence.
If there's a Vegas announcement,
the boys have motion.
That would be fucking insane.
And by the boys, I mean mostly you. I'm involved.
That would be insane if we see one talking about the Legion. I think that this team has potential, though. I don't think this team is in the same boat as the Thieves, where things have just looked abysmal since the start of the season. I think this team has potential, but it's one of those things where are they ever going to get over this hump of getting reverse swept? Because it's got to stop happening. They should have 3 more wins or 4 more wins.
I don't know. Man, I never like to single out a player because, for example, Purge did have a huge turnaround series against LAG where they got reverse swept. His first series was very, very bad. I can't sugarcoat it. It was a .46, which is not good.
Yep.
He did turn it around. He was kind of going crazy against LAG. They still couldn't close. I do think if they make a change.
I will give him some benefit of the doubt, though. He did drop a stinky, but it was his very first series on LAN. You got to cut the guy a little bit of slack. A .46 is no bueno. I'm not saying it's good. It's very bad. Very, very bad. But it's his first series.
It's weird because...
And they still won the series.
You have a team who is there and is competing with a lot of these teams, and they can't close. And what is the fix? Is it a one-person change? I'd be shocked if this team made a multiple-person change. I don't think they're at that point. Like, I still think they're a pretty promising roster if they can figure out how to close series. But, of course, you have to highlight them on thin ice because closing and winning series is part of the game. You can be as close as you want. You can be in. You can lose every series 3-2. If you're not winning them, something's got to give.
Yeah. All right. Well, next up, we talked about the Legion. We've got Miami, and we don't have a graphic made for this one because it was kind of a last-second decision. Miami, though, they go 5-2 in the online split.
Yep.
They beat us. They beat our ass, to put it, bluntly. They beat our ass. But then they go to the event, and they go 0-6.
This was probably one of the biggest upsets. Obviously, New York is up there, but everyone was kind of high on Heretics, and I think for good reason. Like, they were very promising online. They go to LAN and can't make it happen. Well, this was before.
This was before
the show.
Okay, never mind. I was going to say this is becoming a little bit too coincidental.
But
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it sucks to talk badly about players, especially one like Journey who's been around for a long time, but he did not have a good event.
Yeah.
Like, it was a bad event.
Yeah.
From Journey. A lot of the respawns he was going double neg in. It was just a bad event, and it looks like Eric Boom is being looked at. He's already on the roster, right? He's already as a sub for the Heretics, so it looks like they're going to be switching out Eric Boom for Journey, which I feel for Journey because I feel like in online he did pretty solid, but when it came to LAN, he definitely struggled quite a bit, and it shows because Miami gets bounced out 0-6 map count.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about one more team, or do you think we call thin ice there?
I mean, I can keep going.
Okay, I'm worried about the Boston Breach. I think this team should be better than they're showing. I'm very worried about their search and destroy because given their roster, this is a team that should be more solid at search. You have Slasher and Capsule. Snoopy, more of a question mark, right? Still getting those reps, but still very talented. You can see it. And Priest has been on so many winning rosters now where I'm very worried they placed last at their home major, which of course is very upsetting with that type of crowd. They weren't out of the series, but their search just wasn't it, and I'm a little worried.
Yeah, and I just want to bring something up, a little hypothetical to get the people going, perhaps. Boston, top 12 at their own event. New York, top 12 at the first event. What are the chances that we see these teams make a trade, Sib for Priest, bring it back? What are the chances? I'm just hypothetically.
I can see it because the way I see it, I think potentially both teams could kind of win a trade like that because I think New York with Priest had enough slaying. And I do think, just to say it candidly, I thought Slasher played incredibly well this tournament.
Out of his mind.
I thought Slasher went crazy.
Yeah, he was playing great. That cap was on.
I think this team needs a little more consistent slaying. And I'm not saying that's Priest's fault, but I do see Sib as a pretty heavy slayer. And I don't think New York necessarily needs a super heavy AR slayer with the roster they have. So I do think very rarely do you see a trade in which both teams feel like they win. I do feel like that one could weirdly work. But who knows?
Well, it did work last year for New York. They won champs.
Can I use your charger for a second?
You need my charger?
Yeah.
They're calling me drunk.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Listen, I'm just proposing. I'm just proposing scenarios.
Here, put it get it out.
You need my charger.
Yeah, please.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, Boston. They've been struggling in search and destroys, which again, it was kind of weird to me how this team on paper was struggling in search and destroy.
Yeah.
Because you got Slasher, an S&D mastermind. He plays the pick system very well. You get Capsule and Snoopy, two SMGs that I feel like should flourish in Search and Destroy, especially together with their play styles. And then you got P-Dog, the most winning LAN player, you know, in the CDL era. So,
well, who just tied him? Was it Envoy that just tied him?
Envoy just tied him,
Gotcha.
yeah. So now it's, they're both tied.
Real quick, because we're about to move on, if Capsule clutches that 1v4, I would have went ballistic. If he 1v4'd in that high-rise search, that would have actually been like one of the craziest clutches of all time.
All-timer.
Easily.
It would have been an all-time clutch easily. Guys, I know my face is red. I got sunburnt. Can we get it out of our systems?
I feel like mine's a
get
little
it
red
out.
too.
Come on. Get it out really quickly. Call me red, tomato. I actually ate tomatoes for like the first time ever today in a salad.
It was pretty good.
Not a fan.
Really?
Huh?
I thought you liked it.
It was okay. It was okay.
Nonetheless, guys, that was thin ice. We have to unfortunately highlight some players that we love and teams that we love, despite how much we love them, because they are not really playing to the potential we think they may be at. But I'm very excited for this one because it's our first time running this segment on the season. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Up next.
Up next, yeah. We kind of put this one in our pocket a little bit. We put this one in the pocket because, again, we got to see how the amateur players kind of develop throughout the year.
Yep.
We got to see how some of the teams that are formed at the start of the year, how they start to struggle or prosper. And we have a couple that I think are pretty obvious, honestly. I'm just going to name off the first one. Everyone's been talking about him. It's Asim. I mean, he has been ranked the #1 through the coaches poll in Challengers. And he's been absolutely tearing it up in Challengers with FaZe Black winning obviously the Challenger event.
Yeah.
Asim's been doing his fucking thing. And he's been doing his thing for a long time. So,
well, I don't think anybody's shocked by the players you see here. Obviously, we all know Asim. We're pretty familiar with Kremp. Eric Boom, I think people may be a little more familiar with than Lunars or Geo. So shout out to Lunars and Geo because I feel like the other names we kind of know a little more. But I personally know Lunars a bit. I'm not too familiar with Geo, but these guys are all players that have been making waves in
Geo was
Challengers.
stream sniping me in fucking Warzone. Some kid named Geo kept killing me. It might have been him.
Maybe.
It might have been him.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. But I actually think it's kind of crazy that we made this up next graphic far before these tweets and rumors are coming out. Now 2 of the 5 are potentially finding their way into the league.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure right now.
Yeah.
You got Kremp rumors. You now have Eric Boom rumors.
Asim,
do these other 3 make it in?
Surely Asim's being looked at. And of course, I think, first and foremost, before we continue, there are a lot of solid Challengers players.
A lot, yeah, of course.
And, you know, I'm thinking of Brack. Everyone's saying Glow Frosty. Like, these are players that have been frying. We just wanted to highlight just a few. And
we can't highlight everybody.
Yeah, as much as we'd love to.
Yeah.
Real quick, the owner of FaZe Black, Los, just dropped you an absolute 50 bomb in your chat. That's that boy, Los.
Los bowling with a 50 bomb.
Hell yeah.
Right off of the dome. Thank you very much, Los.
It was good meeting you in person, Los. But, why don't you bring us through some stats of these players?
Yeah, of course. Who do you want to start with? I got stats for all of our players here from the weekend.
Let's go
from
left
this
to right.
past weekend.
Let's talk about Lunars, who actually, out of this graphic, had the highest overall KD.
1.16 at the event.
Damn right.
And that's impressive, man. Challengers, it's a grueler. It's the passion pit for a reason.
Yeah.
He ends up going 74 and 64, which sounds a little strange. They must not have recorded all of his series, right?
I don't want to sit here and act like I'm in the know when
Riley,
I'm not.
do you know if they recorded all of his series? Because that seems low for the amount of kills for an event.
It was everything that was like streamed or they could get stats.
Okay, so that's everything that was streamed or could get stats. So there's some other series that obviously, if it's not streamed, we're not going to be able to get the stats for you guys. But he drops a 1.6 throughout the weekend. You know, that's impressive because assuming most of his series that were streamed are getting later into the tournament, a 1.16 against top competition, it's impressive out of the kid. Is he AR or sub?
He's an AR.
He's an AR player.
Yeah. Lunars, I know Lunars personally a bit. I also watched him a bit last season. He was a top Challenger player last season as well. And I've heard some rumors that at some point this year he's gotten some looks for some pro teams. So I feel like it's only a matter of time for Lunars to get his shot. And
he plays,
obviously he's on this list, so people are looking at him.
And he plays right now with Eric Boom.
Correct.
So imagine if both of those players get pulled up into the league. I mean, that'd be dope for both of those players. They are on SGP. So, Lunars 1.16. Next up on our list, we got Eric Boom, again, rumored to be joining the Heretics for Journey. He had a 1.0 on the dot. He went 72 and 72. Well, so it makes sense. They're on the same team. It seems like their matches had to have been streamed together. Obviously, they're on the same team.
A lot of
they
people
both
have
have around the
talking
same
about him,
kills.
too. Like I feel like his name has been pretty prevalent this year when it comes to challengers players. There's been a lot of talk around him. He's been streaming his stuff a lot, just like Asim. So of course, this goes without saying. If you're a top challengers player, please just stream your POV. Like
It opens doors.
There's
for sure.
no downside. The fact that a coach or a creator or anybody can tune in and watch you scrim or whatever it may be, like having that VOD just there so they can see your daily play is so important. So just please, if you're not, please turn it on.
The only downside is the bandwidth, perhaps. You might lose a little bit of internet
Keep
speed.
the fucking stream on.
But then you're getting lag comp.
Turn the stream on.
Now, I have a question for you, Zin.
Yeah.
Asim, obviously third on our list here. FaZe Black, winning pretty much everything in challengers right now. Who do you think Asim fits into right now as a team? And do you think he'd even want to go to some of these teams that are struggling?
I think unless it's the last place team, I think it's early enough in the season where you can turn around a team and
They're saying Boston, LAT,
and get enough points to make champs.
Surge.
I think everybody looks at Asim as a professional. This is most likely a player that's being looked at by multiple teams. And yeah, I do think Asim accepts whatever position is offered to him.
LA Thieves
out of the teams, right? Like who knows which teams are offering him, but yeah, I mean, I think it's only a matter of time before Asim gets announced on one of these teams.
Yeah, I would agree with you. So
he's also selfless, but what's interesting about Asim is I've been watching his POV a lot. I was watching scrims a lot. He's been absolutely frying with the AR. Not sure if that's like a role change or more so just a testament to the way the game was played.
I feel like
just
it's a testament.
Exactly. So, nonetheless, out of everybody on this list, I feel like Asim has been talked about the most this year. And I think he's back soon.
He dropped a 0.9 at the event, but again, they won. So how much can you really read into those statistics if they're winning the event?
Yeah,
and that's one of the things that people argue and bicker about a lot is that who cares about stats? These challengers players, people always say some of these challengers players are probably going for stats because that's all that anybody gives a damn about.
That's what I'd be doing.
That's what I'd be doing too. I'd be fucking baiting everybody.
I would say
get in there.
So here's my thing, and I've said this a lot. Asim, when it comes to former pros, it's a bit different because all the pros sort of know what you get to a certain degree. Granted, some pros are better at certain games. When it comes to challengers players, everybody's looking for the next Hydra, BZ, Simp, up-and-comer.
Yeah.
So I've always stood by the fact the player who's placing second, dropping 40s, will get the opportunity more often than not than the player winning.
Of course.
Who has 2 minutes in the hill and is going 20 and 20. And that's just sort of the way it works. Everyone's sort of looking for that needle in the haystack.
Yep. And next up, we've got Kremp. Kremp, obviously, Kremp was in the league for a short stint last year. He ends up going back to challengers. He's now getting looked at again to potentially come back into the league. He actually changed his name to Krempy, by the way, with 2 eyes.
Really?
Have y'all seen that? Yeah. He changed his name to Krempy with 2 eyes.
He's the trendsetter, man. He's starting the trend.
I don't know what that's all about, but hey, Kremp, it's all good, man. You can have that shit if you want. I don't care. But he dropped a 1.15 at the event, and he might be joining the Thieves, Zin. And I'm fucking batwinging.
I like it. I think certain teams have to do something, and even in a world where it doesn't pan out the way they want it to, I want to see teams try and improve, and I think Kremp is a player that a lot of people are high on. So, yeah, if it's true, congrats to Kremp. Excited to watch you play. Next up, though, I'd be lying if I said I know a lot personally about Geo. We have some stats here, but everyone's been talking about Geo. And once again, there are more players people are talking about. Glow Frosty, Brack. This is just a limited pool of players, but there are a ton of players doing well.
So we actually have a good amount of stats, thank you to Riley, from the amateur, from the Challengers event. Obviously, we can't really watch it as closely or really at all because we're doing the watch party for the pros. But Frosty had a 1.12, Geo has a 0.99, and they end up getting second at the event alongside Craze and Wiz.
Yeah.
So really either of those players. We put Geo on here, but Frosty as well. He's been playing 8s. I've been seeing him play a lot of 8s. He's been getting in those BPL pro lobbies, and he's been doing his thing. So really either of the ARs from that team I could see making some noise in the league.
Damn right.
But Geo, he dropped a 0.99. I'm pretty sure he was stream sniping me in Warzone. I don't know what the fuck's that about or what that's about. It was probably a different guy whose name was Geo.
Maybe.
It had to have been, right?
Yeah.
Or it was just coincidental. But he was moving.
Damn right.
He was moving, so it might have been him.
Speaking of challengers, real quick, I really hope something is figured out to give these guys at least one more land for this year. 2 lands is absolutely unacceptable and criminal. So
I agree.
I will say that as many times as I have to. The challengers, if we're calling this the path to pro, and this is the system that players need to play in to prove themselves, they need to play at the highest level of Call of Duty, which is on land, on a more consistent basis, just like the pros, preferably the same weekend as the pros, in the same venue, or across the street like Boston did.
Well, with this recent news, obviously, with people being laid off from the CDL,
It's
I mean,
unlikely.
it just makes my hope go even further down the drain that, this infrastructure is going to be bolstered before the end of the year. I can't envision it. It's bullshit, and I don't agree with it, but I can't envision it to happen, which sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Dude, why is everyone saying Doug is back? Dude, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Do not tell me Doug already came back. It's a troll?
It's a troll?
Oh, it's a troll. Okay.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's kind of insane, using Doug's recent retirement.
Yeah, that's criminal.
That's kind of insane.
I mean, speaking of, though, we should talk about congrats to Doug on the career. Obviously, say what you want about Doug. Motivation, second to none. A player that's been around since fucking almost day one. Shout out to Doug, man. I mean, how much can we say? Shout out to Doug Sensor Martin, Dougie Fresh.
It's always sad seeing these people that we grew up with and are kind of staples in our community.
Ooh, this is a big one.
To start retiring and obviously hanging up the sticks. So we wish Doug, nothing but the best in whatever he decides to do next. This
is a big one.
I mean, we've been saying Nasty should have been in the league to start this year.
This is a player that should absolutely have never been demoted down to challengers ever. My only worry here is how fast they can get a visa situation sorted, because obviously he's over there in the UK playing challengers. It breaks my heart to see Cammy get replaced if this is true. I fucking love the guy. But we have to talk about how high we've been on Nasty ever since we saw him come into the league. Just the potential, the firepower. He was stuck on a Ravens team that were sort of hit or miss.
They're calling him 480p.
End up playing well, but Nasty's unbelievable. So if Cammy's getting replaced, I'm damn happy it's Nasty.
Yeah. Nasty, I think he's very deserving. If that's the case, I'm excited to see Nasty back in the league.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Cam, obviously.
Awful. I love the guy.
Because I think Cam, this weekend, I do think he was showing signs of that old Cam.
Yeah, no,
there were signs this weekend.
He was turning up at some moments, and you see these glimpses that it's still there. It's just not consistent.
It's got to be
it
consistent.
It needs to be consistent, and I'm not sure, but yeah, congrats to Nasty if that's true, and congrats to every Challenger player we just talked about, and Challengers players that we didn't talk about. Keep it up. We are sorry that the infrastructure isn't what it should be.
I'm excited to see Nasty, though. I mean, if Thieves are really making this many changes, which I do think they need to make changes, I'm anxious to see how they turn things around. Really anxious.
And I respect Thieves for making the changes. Roster changes are hard because, especially, I feel like roster changes are more hard now because, for the most part, most teams are together in person and, there's a lot more of this personal relationship outside of the game, and you're in the same room practicing, and these players move to a certain city. So,
chat's calling for Afro as well.
It's especially hard. Well, hey, man, I think the people making the decisions at these teams have a lot more insight. No pun intended, Jamie.
Of course.
Of which players show certain characteristics, whether it be intangibles or mechanically. So, especially thinking of who their staff is, you have J-Cap, you have Shane. I'm sure these guys know what they're doing, and they can evaluate talent pretty well. So, I respect a team like Thieves making changes.
Absolutely. That's going to be up next. A lot of stuff has been unfolding while we've been live that we didn't really anticipate. But that's really that's a lot of our breakdown. We got top plays and stuff coming later. But now we've got a household favorite where
the champion returns with
where the CDL
normal show
gets put on hold for a second. I've been seeing some people in the chat. They're saying, "Can we get a fair?" That's not the right graphic. That is not the right graphic.
That graphic is fire, though.
That graphic's fire. That's not. I mean, that'll do. We've got rapid fire, ladies and gentlemen. It's a game show inside of the talk show where me and Zin battle against each other. 10 questions. Gifteds are going to be on the line. You want to ask first or go? What do you want? Ask first or?
I'll ask you first.
No.
I will say last week or last episode's rapid fire
Let me warm up.
was insanely void to the point where the entire show or the entire segment of the show was changed because I've been dick slapping this kid so hard in rapid fire.
You've been what?
They literally changed the segment. Nonetheless, we're returning to our normal segment in which I have been absolutely handing you L's, not only last season, but this season as well. So I'll let you pick. Do you want to ask me first or?
Chat, you think I should ask or answer? What do y'all think, man? I feel like I would rather have the pressure on him. Ask first.
Go ahead.
No, I want to answer first. I'm going against you, chat. I'm going against you.
All right, listen. If you guys don't know the rules of the show, very simple. Rapid fire questions. We each have 10 questions to ask each other. Once we say 3, 2, 1, go, a 60-second timer will start. Whoever gets more questions right in the allotted time wins. We'll put 20 gifted on this. 20 gifted each.
20 gifted, yeah, that's fine with me.
20 gifted each. Ladies and gentlemen, Riley, are you ready?
All right.
Okay, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, go. On go. That timer will start.
Let's
and
see
I
what
will
my
ask
memory looks like,
away.
man.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Which player taunted Optic with a 3-0 emote before Major 1?
Vickle.
Who called Clayster buns and refused to team with him?
Purge.
What player became a fan favorite for his use of hand warmers?
Assault.
Which retired pro is tied for second best KD in a LAN debut for Optic?
Fuck. Formal.
No, it was me. Which team broke the record for most hardpoint wins in a row?
Toronto.
Yes. Who holds the all-time record for most consecutive tournaments with a 1.0 or better?
Me.
Correct. Which player tied
By
Priesta
far.
for most LAN wins in the CDL era?
Envoy.
Which players tied Crim6 and Karma for most Grand Finals appearances as a duo?
Simp and Abizi.
Name one of the 2 Easter eggs featured on the RNL Scump Big 3
Jalen
design.
Suggs.
Which player tied JCap for the most Grand Final losses in history?
Simp and Abizi.
One player.
Simp.
Wrong.
Abizi. No, it's Abizi. It's Abizi.
All right.
You got to give me that.
Okay, so Riley
Ask
has...
it.
Yeah, well, no, it's done. You got 9 right. What a fucking rigged set of questions. I can't wait to hear mine. You got 9 out of 10 right. Holy shit, Riley. Just take my fucking money from me if you're going to do this.
Yay! All right. Let me know when you're ready.
Unbelievable.
What'd I get, 9?
Hold on. I need a second to calm down.
What'd I get, 9?
Yeah, you got 9 right.
I can't believe I missed. The only one I missed was you?
Yeah.
Fuck's sake then, lad.
I'm not even sure. Guys, should we give him the last one where he said simp and then Abizi? He switched his answer. Should we give him that?
Yeah. What? I switched my answer in literally like half a second.
Chat's saying no.
I don't give a fuck what chat's saying.
Chat's saying no. I mean, the
Are you
streets.
serious, chat?
Oh,
What is wrong with y'all?
Oh man, I mean, I guess I'll give him 9. I mean,
no.
I will say,
no.
I will say, getting 9 out of 10
no.
difficult is we'll return to this. It's either 8 or 9, but we'll see how many I get right.
Okay.
Say
okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm good.
Oh wait, why do I have your questions?
Did you have chat open?
No, I have your questions though. I didn't read them. Why do I have his questions, Riley? I might have clicked on the wrong document. I swear to God I didn't read them. If I read them, I would have got everything. I didn't read them. I promise you I didn't read them. I don't care that much.
So you had hold on. You had
I don't
the
care that
document with my questions I was asking you with the
I
answers
didn't-
highlighted
I
green.
have 8 tabs open. I didn't read them.
But which page were you on?
Look. Rapid fire methods to Scump. I just clicked the first one I have. Where's mine?
But which page was open?
Not that one.
Oh no.
No, I swear on my life.
Which page did you have open?
I don't remember. Fucking Boston Major Frame IO?
Did you have your Twitch chat open?
No. Dude, I didn't cheat.
Well, first off, you don't have credibility because you literally cheated on the episode before the last.
I promise you I didn't cheat.
God
I
forbid.
actually promise you I didn't.
All right. Well, he's gonna get the right document, and then we'll run it back.
I actually didn't cheat.
I believe you. Actually,
I'll give you a fair shake. I'm not gonna do that.
No, I'll believe you.
I'm not that weird.
You hate fucking losing.
I do hate losing, but I'm not that weird.
I hope not.
I would have got 10 for 10. They're saying I'm walling.
All right, here we go.
Hold on. I think we got this is the right link. There
Chat,
we go.
We all agree, though. He had some of the easiest questions possible.
They were
correct?
pretty easy. I'll admit. They were pretty. All right.
Are
let
mine
me know.
easy? Read some.
Yeah, they're pretty easy.
As easy as yours?
You'll be good, man. I got 9. You're probably gonna get 10. No bullshit. All right, here we go.
Yep.
3. Ready?
Yeah. No, wait, no. Hold on.
Yep,
Hold up.
3.
On go, Riley. When he says go.
3, 2, 1, go. Which player tied the 2024 S&D kill record during Friday's matches?
Vivid.
No. Who dropped a 1.45 KD and 18.3k damage for the loss on day 2?
Slasher?
Yes. Which team was booed for supposedly breaking GAs during the tournament?
Surge.
Yes. By how many points were Rocker winning during the Map 1 full reset on Thursday?
100.
Yes. Who was the first team to reverse sweep Vegas Legion this season?
Optic.
Nope. What player has appeared in a grand finals every year of the CDL?
Simp.
No. Which current player holds the record for most tournaments with a 1 KD at 19?
CDL?
Yes. Which current player holds the record for most tournaments with a 1 KD?
Not
Current
Simp.
player.
Simp?
No, Cell. Who was the first team to complete a Neslo this season?
This season?
Yes.
They're all from the event. Oh, I don't fucking know. Go ahead. Go on the next question.
Which player dropped a .46 and won the Series 3-0?
Purge.
Which retired pro holds the record for most tournaments as the KD leader?
Congrats on your win, man.
Yippee!
Real even questions.
Bring it back to me. Yippee!
You got questions from 3 days ago. Mine were from week 1 of the CDL.
Fucking slammed.
Rigged.
Slammed.
The rich get richer.
Slammed.
Fuck me.
I'm
At
not
least the
gonna
chat
lie.
knows. At least the chat
I'm
knows
not
that
going
was
to
a
lie.
joke.
I am a stand-up competitor, in my opinion. I think that those questions were rigged as
No,
well.
Thank God. I mean, the chat's really agreeing. Riley, I'll never forget it.
I think that they were also rigged a little bit.
Good
I can
Lord.
admit whenever I get a free dub. That was a free dub. And I'll take it all day, but I can at least admit it.
I'm getting penalized for being good at it.
You did miss some easy ones, though.
Like what?
Uh,
Sell you
yeah,
maybe.
you did miss a few, like you missed the ones from the event. Which player tied the
Who was
S&D? It was Nero.
Okay, yeah, I missed that one.
On High Rise.
That's fair.
Right. Was it on High Rise? No, it was on Skid Row. Yeah, it was on Skid Row. Who dropped the 1.5 and 18? That was Slasher. Which team was booed for the GAs?
Yeah.
Surge was right.
Yeah.
You got the 100 points right for how much the map reset was against Rocker.
Yeah.
First team to reverse sweep Legion was Carolina. The player to appear in a grand finals every year was Kleenex. The current player that holds the record for most tournaments at 19 above a 1 KD is Celium. First team to complete a Neslo were Thieves. Purge was the .46, and then
first team to complete a Nesla, dude.
that
those
one was
questions
insane.
were a lot more difficult.
That one was
Nonetheless,
crazy.
There you go. I'm paying now and I'm forgetting about it.
That was supposed to be your hard one. Seth's was the.
Thank you, Zin.
That wasn't a hard one though, because we gassed it up on the watch party. Yep. That
Shake
was
my hand like a real man.
that was rigged. That was incredibly rigged, but I will pay up. I mean,
The Thieves one I counted as being from the event because we talked about it when FaZe completed the second.
listen, Riley.
Thank you.
It was rigged. You can try to justify it. I'll never forget it. Let's move on, please.
All right. Our next segment. Thank you guys for that. God, I love rapid fire. We need to chat. We need to come up with another game inside the show.
I'm actually down for that. I want to do
We've
something where we
been-
spin like a wheel.
we've
I
been
want to spin a
brainstorming.
wheel for something.
Yeah, we've been brainstorming some things that we can do, but dude, it just it's not fun to be serious all the time. I'm trying to fucking troll a little bit.
Rapid fire is great when it's fair.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a great segment when it's a nice fair game between two boys. But yeah, that was rapid fire. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I didn't really that much, but I'm sure everybody else did.
Absolutely.
Next up, we have, no pun intended, the top plays from the weekend.
Absolutely. And this is going to be a little memory rehasher for me as well, because I forget a lot of the top plays from the weekend. So let's start day number 1. It's a Shotzi 3-piece. Riley, cue the music. Let me know when you're ready.
Wait, how you doing on charge? Do you need the charger back? Or are you good?
No, I'm good on the charge.
Okay.
I'm great on the charge, in fact. Let me know, Riley.
Real quick, we have breaking news regarding Tej.
Do we?
That's the word on the street. They're saying Tej has been signed for the year.
Come on, Tej.
Come on now.
Can we get a Weege?
That's something we love to see. I do feel so. I love to see Tej win. I feel bad for Real dealing with visa issues. I'm
Yes.
assuming that's still an issue.
Of
So
course.
very, very sorry to Real for having to deal with that bullshit. But very happy for Tej to have a spot as well.
Yeah, that sucks for Real. Let's not just skim over that. It sucks for Real. He had visa issues. That's tough. But visas, visas. I feel like every year there's issues within the CDL with players' visas all the time. We got Linz up next. This guy has been impressing me very much throughout the year.
Oh yeah, this is good enough.
There's a little chop, but that turnaround, that turn and burn, that is impressive out of that bull, Linz.
For the breakdown team of the major, Linz is an honorable mention because they placed top 4 and he was consistent through and through.
Next up, this guy was going crazy this event as well. Fame deserves some flowers. Fame was doing his thing for LAG. We'll play that one again because of how quick it was.
Yeah,
nice
Fame
little
was going
three-piece
crazy.
coming out of the double doors onto the Atlanta phase. That's Syndrome. Peace. We'll be seeing you. Yeah, this is way better. It was definitely the power. Next up, we've got Toby. This guy was a walking clip this
Guy
weekend.
was unbelievable. Every Ultra player, most players in the top 4 had some crazy clips all weekend long. It was a crazy major when it comes to like individual, just like pieces and plays. I'm actually surprised at how many crazy plays you see given the health of this game. You know what I'm saying? Like 150 health, you'd assume that they'd be a little less prevalent. This was fucking nuts, dude.
This is an all-timer, folks. To set the scene, this is an all-time clip. Like this would make montage. Like this is insane what he did here.
I still don't really know how it happened, but we watched this a bit on the watch party. That guy was one shot. He just like flicks and somehow Fame walks through dark and gets a 3-piece. It was crazy.
You got to watch it again. We're going to slow it down, too. We're going to slow it down to like 0.5. This is fucking insane, bro. That hip fire, I don't even know how his brain registered it that fast that he killed him.
Yep.
He must have heard the noise that it makes. But yeah, that's an all-timer out of Fame. Right. Next up, we got Gwyn with a 3-piece. Hold on, let me change it back one time. And Gwyn's been impressive as well. We just got some news about the Ravens. This boy Gwyn's been shooting all year.
No, Gwyn, in my opinion, still the most consistent player on Ravens season long. And he went to the event and was also frying.
I'm excited to see what he does for the remainder of the year now. I'm excited to see what this Ravens team does with a team that's like build some chemistry, get some reps in, see how their search develops. I'm excited to see what they do. This was a nice 1v3
that boy Dill. Attach has also been just like such a clutch S&D player, especially in the 1v1s. He's known for not losing his ones. Dill going crazy. Yet another clutch for the kid. Add that to the resume. I think Dill's been a shining star on a struggling Vegas team.
And I love this. I love the route he takes. He gets seen. It doesn't really slow him down, though. He keeps on challenging. This was crazy. Jumps out top 3, sees
I can't believe
Vickle.
he won this given the time left.
Dude, he just peels Vickle right there.
Yeah.
If he doesn't kill Vickle right there, it's a free round.
Yep. He gets the bomb down. He also hides from this little arch. He saw the player earlier in the round. Just a textbook clutch from Muddy Dill, man.
Oh, yeah. Look at this. Lays down behind the car. Pop up. Boom.
Yeah,
see you later, Lucky. 1v3 for Attach. He doesn't lose his ones, let alone 1 versus 3s. Next up, into day number 3. Oh, my gosh. This is the Shotzzy smoke that had everybody fucking tweaking.
You'd think you're watching Counter-Strike with where this smoke landed. The fact that he throws it from back here and it lands perfectly on bomb is actually crazy.
See, Ant's the type of guy, he's going over that shit, though. Like, he probably has gone over that in FFA running around the map. Yes.
Oh, maybe.
I guarantee
it. He definitely loves doing that.
He doesn't warm up by shooting bots. He warms up by running around the map.
Yep.
Which is weird to me.
It's kind of smart, too.
But that's what he does. No, I haven't, Riley. Can we play it after the day? This was nice. Nice little lineup for Shotzzy. I swear we're not being biased towards optics. Shotzzy was just going crazy in some of these clips. Sitting in the cockpit, you got to check that, Serge.
Yeah, you got to check.
You got to check those, Serge. We actually have comms from that exact clip of Shotzzy we'll pull up next. This was the ace from Lance. Do you remember this? It was fucking dirty.
Oh my God, yes. Wait, well, this was also a huge throw from LAG. They're in a 4v2. I remember it now. Yeah, Linz with a crazy ace, and LAG kind of just absolutely throw it away because not only does Linz get the ace, he gets the 1v2.
I don't know how he found 2 from down there. It's kind of a troll from LAG. Like, why are they pushing up?
They overpeaked.
Yeah, why are they pushing up? Get the bomb down, back the fuck up.
Yeah.
Instead, they give him 2 free picks from bottom Eskies. And then I love the way he plays this 1v1 here against Assault.
Yeah. I just wrote it.
Plays it patience, waits for him to come back through top 3. Linz with a big time clutch. Impressive out of him.
Different. When I'm in the club, throw it up.
Okay. This one might be an all-timer as well.
I mean, we saw it at the start of the show. This game-winning 3-piece from Kenny had me erect.
Yeah. It had the observers erect, I think, as well. They were getting very hyped.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's just as clutch as it gets. A game-winning 3-piece in P1 is incredible work.
To push it to the game 5, obviously things don't go our way in the game 5, but an all-time clip out of Kenny right there. Next up, we got the Fame 5 streak. I don't really remember this one. Let's see what he's got for us.
I remember this now. Yeah, wait. Fame was going absolutely ballistic, dude. I mean, Fame had a great tournament. Just want to highlight him real quick. He was winning.
That was filthy.
Yeah, we were all just like, oh my God, every kill he got during this sequence.
Re-pinches, wake, piece, shot in the back. Great streak from Fame right there. Riley, pull up the clip that you were talking about, please and thank you.
Yeah, so we have the comms from when Ant landed that smoke directly onto bomb.
What's up, chat? You guys can see yourselves.
How we doing?
Never mind. How quickly it comes and how quickly it's taken away, chat.
That's the way it happens.
It's crazy. We're going to pull up the comms from that little smoke play.
I'm playing for guy. He might go mid. He's back useless, Ant.
I'm pitching him.
Yeah, I should play for the guy. And lands his back alley. 100%. I might hop it on some weird shit. Nice, you can.
Let's go. I'm
hopping it.
Yeah, try smoking in.
He can be anywhere.
You just said I'm trying to smoke here?
I'm halfway.
Yeah.
What? To shoot.
You are different.
It's actually crazy.
Yo, Brandon's a clown for that.
No, that actually is a crazy smoke. The fact he just like improv, throw it up over the building and it lands directly on bomb is crazy.
Look, you threw a smoke. That shit landed perfectly.
That's actually crazy.
Trying not to smile.
Yeah, that boy's shotsy, man. I'm telling you, he loves that shit. That's like his go-to. That was that's hilarious though. Brandon's what is comedy. Last up, folks, we got the last day of clips from the major. We're starting it off with none other than Simp the Pimp on his 8 streak. Unfortunately, it's against us.
Yeah.
But I mean, the kid was going crazy.
Yeah, he was doing his thing in Burger, man.
And those shots are nice.
Yeah, no, the kid can shoot.
A little 8 streak against us again.
The kid
don't
can
like
shoot.
to see. The 3-piece by Scrappy right here, a crucial one as well.
Oh yeah, on the 8-point the 8-point.
See, some people would slide cancel that angle, but he knows like I'm gonna jump this.
Loop-de-loop and pull.
It's the little things. Loop-de-loops and pulls them 2 HP. Still finds the 3-piece to win out the round. Next up, we got AG. This was a 3-piece. I don't think it was a 1v3 or anything.
This is the read backstairs.
The read,
right?
this
was
gross.
beautiful. He goes flying, beautiful 3.
Roars.
Little roar, yep.
Do the roar. Hits the roar with a 3-piece. Next up, we got Illy Dilly. Your champions, the Toronto Ultra. Nobody's using the water like Shotzi and Dylan, I'll tell you that.
Shit. Sorry,
Nobody
man.
else is in the water besides these two.
I'm sorry for singing, guys. You hear R&L Bose on the soundtrack. How do you not get involved?
Oh, my sunburn's starting to itch. Here we go. Dashy 4 streak. Actually, this was a crucial one.
This is him saving P2 by himself. And thank God he did. Because whenever you lose P2 in general, Skid Row gets sketchy. And Brandon just holds it by himself.
Yeah, that's huge. If he didn't really have any teammate help, if he dies there, Rocker probably break that P2, but Brandon goes large.
This is Lamar going crazy. Unfortunately against us in this 8-point. Lamar literally by himself wins them this 3rd map.
Yeah, you don't like to see it against us, but
Lamar
they still
went crazy.
They ended up losing the series. Good play out of Lamar. Lamar had a good weekend, by the way.
Yes, he did.
A lot of people been on Lamar's ass recently about performances. He plays too slow. He does this. He does that. Lamar had a good weekend with the Rocker. And those are our top plays of the weekend, folks. W's in the chat. What's up, chat? Oh, Riley hates y'all. Don't know what to tell you.
Let's get a W spam, man.
Riley hates you? Don't know what to say. Not us. How did I get sunburned in Boston? I didn't. I got sunburned today while we were shooting content.
Damn right.
Yeah. We were outside for about 2.5 hours. And that's what happened to me. I got scorched out there. All right, folks. Last but not least, thank you for joining us for the show. We've got Call of the Community. If any of y'all have any questions, we obviously have a lot going on right now in the scene.
Take over for a minute. I'll be right back in the jiffy.
Yeah, Riley,
Take some questions.
Riley, why don't you show my screen for this so we can see some questions so they know we're reading them in real time? Why not? All right, guys. You got any questions for us? All right, let's start right here with Beefy Ben. Why are all these teams making changes so early in the season? You kind of have to. You can't fall too far behind in the season. If you do, you're losing out on CDL points. You're losing out on opportunities. You got to strike while the iron's hot, and soon it's going to cool down for a lot of these teams, man. It's going to cool down. It's going to cool down fast. You got to get those points where you can. Excuse me. What the fuck are you what are you guys on about, man? What are these questions? Can we get some fucking event-related questions? Do I think Optic can get over the hump of FaZe and Ultra? Absolutely. I think that our team is pound for pound just as talented as some of these teams. We just got to put it together, man. It comes down to figuring out some of their weaker modes. I'd like to see them work on search. I think absolutely by the next major we could be contending with those teams. This major, though, I will say I don't think anyone was beating Toronto. We got to call it how it is. We can't be super biased. They looked incredible, man. Yeah, we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier in the show. What do you think about the bust from NY? I think it's bad for that team, man. They're obviously champions of the CDL. They win champs. To come out and get 12th in the first event of the year, I mean, the champs curse lives on, it seems.
I do trust them to turn it around.
And
but
they make a change, which a lot of people didn't think that they needed.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Zin. Sorry.
No, I mean, I just think I'm confident New York will bounce back to a certain degree. The real question is, can New York, and I think they can they get back to the level that like Ultra is playing at, FaZe is playing at? Like, how good will New York get with their new roster?
Yeah.
But it's also weird because like it's always woulda, coulda, shoulda. Who knows if the same thing would have happened with Priesta if they didn't make a change? Like there's like literally no way to know.
Johnny, right now, who's the best player in the CDL?
That's tough.
Yeah, I think
Like
right now it's a player on Toronto. I just don't know who it is. I don't know who it is, but it's a player on Toronto, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You could argue Celium. You could argue Simp. I think those are really the only ones that you could argue at the moment.
I agree.
It's got to be a Toronto player or one of them.
I also think Pred was going insane.
Pred was going insane for
Like
the boys.
AG, a little biased, but not biased. Like the kid was going absolutely crazy.
Wait, another roster change? Which one are they talking about?
I think they're implying that another member of
Oh, wow.
Team War? That's Bance's team?
Yeah. Nasty's already gone.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, once again, guys, when it comes to roster changes, once more start coming out, we'll be talking about those just like casually on our normal streams. I may stream later tonight. I'm assuming we're on rank tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll be keeping up and talking about the roster changes sort of.
If you had the
as
Thin
they
Ice
happen.
Optic, what would you point out as a major fault this event?
They
I mean,
placed third.
we wouldn't Thin Ice them. They got third. People expected them to get 8th through 12th. So we wouldn't Thin Ice them for that sense. But Search and Destroy. I mean, I think Search and Destroy was their real glaring weakness throughout the weekend.
They do have to iron up Search.
Yeah. Thank you. I will. Get some aloe vera on that dome. I will.
I feel kind of burnt too. We are not made for the sun.
I'm definitely not.
I'm half Italian and I got the half Irish skin, the Irish German skin.
Ravens to make winners next event? I think they have a real shot, yeah.
Not far-fetched. I mean, first off, I'm interested to see how fast teams pick up the new patch because I think sort of by default, once a new patch, and it's essentially a brand new game kind of when it comes to spawns and hills. I'm curious, and sort of by default, some teams will get ahead and some will take a second to catch up. So I think the start of this online split will be very interesting for points and seeding. And the thing is, I think there are a lot of teams that could turn it up a notch. Like Boston's a question mark for me. If Thieves is making changes, if they make a multiple-person change, who's to say they don't turn things around? Ravens, like, there's a lot of what-ifs right now. So I can't wait. I actually think that Split 2 is going to be more competitive than Split 1. Granted, we got some roster changes coming.
I think Split 2 is about to be crazy. Honestly, I think Split 2 is about to be a lot more competitive. Not just a little bit. I think it's going to be a lot more competitive.
And guess who wins when that happens? God damn it, all of us. Watch parties, vibes, breakdowns, Miami.
Yeah, let's talk about this a little bit. I saw some people saying Dashy needs to change his play style back to that more kill-centric player.
Oh, I like this one. I love this one.
Let's hear it. Zin, talk to me.
Because it's people on his dick no matter what he does. It's either he's kill whoring and not playing for the win, and he needs to start playing for the win, or he's getting hill time, and he needs to start kill whoring again. Suck a fucking ball sack, dude. So many players, especially Brandon, deal with this like you can never win type thing, and I feel like people pick and choose who they attach these sort of agendas to. And granted, sure, I'm sure at times maybe Brandon was kill whoring a little too long. Maybe at times he was playing for the hill when he should have been slaying. All I'm saying is you could not speak of a player in such a definite sense and then say, oh, man.
It's impossible to be perfect, but I think Brandon playing this way, I think it's best for the team right now. The team looked amazing in respawns. Amazing. Yeah. They looked so good in respawns. Someone's got to get hill time for a team. Every team has one player that usually has, a considerable more amount of time than another.
I just don't even know how you, bring that up, given S&D is the main issue. Like, why is that even being talked about, his fucking hill time? Talk about S&D if you're going to talk about anything. Like, that, I think, is our biggest issue right now. Why are we talking about respawn? It's illogical. It's just people are bored and they want to talk about the biggest team, so they make something up.
Yeah, I think Brandon's playing fine, man. I do.
The team looked very good in respawn.
They looked solid.
Yeah.
Like against FaZe in the first series, they win both hardpoints? Granted, FaZe was struggling in hardpoint at that time.
Yeah.
But still, beating FaZe on 2 hardpoints, that's not easy.
Yeah, no.
Like, you got to be a good hardpoint team.
But
to
I don't
do that.
think I think Dashy's a player who's dealt with that. It's just there always needs to be something to talk about. So this has happened to multiple players before. It'll always happen to certain players. It's just the way of the road. But I think the team, when it comes to respawn, just needs to keep on keeping on, especially given the fact that we have a brand new game coming up. Yeah, I think, once again, respawn looks good.
And again, people are saying, well, then we got smoked by FaZe and hardpoint the next series.
Well, to be fair,
it's FaZe.
And we also talked about this coming in.
Their guns were hot as fuck,
yes,
too. We were losing every gunfight.
One of my biggest gripes with... I feel like it happens in every competition. It's just everybody likes to overcomplicate and overthink, like map losses or series losses. Once you get to that upper echelon, which we talked about in the beginning of the year, which we thought was, in no order, Toronto, FaZe, Optic, New York. Once you're talking about top 4 to top 6, any given team can win on any given day in any given game mode, especially as we get towards the end of the year. So it's like you can't overthink each series and each map and put that much thought into it, because one team could have shut up hot one day. One team could have started off slow. I think everybody sort of overthinks the competition sometimes.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yeah, no, 100% I agree. I think, these are the top teams in the world. We beat FaZe on 2 hardpoints, and they beat us on 2 hardpoints.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's how their scrims look, too.
That's not confusing at all. It's self-explanatory,
Against
least to me.
Everyone else, our respawns looked great.
Yeah.
Our search and destroy is what was the real issue, in my opinion.
We have a lot to work to do. I'm trying to think. And once again, it was the first event and first split of the year, so you don't really want to overcomplicate it and really be like, oh, we need to fix this. I think search just needs to be a little more concise, and I think given the maps in this game, I talked about it on the watch party. I think a map like Invasion, you kind of have to play straight up. On maps like Karachi, Skid Row, you can take timings, right? Like Ant can go take timings and hit out a certain lane. I think on maps like Invasion, when you can see every cross and there's ARs posted on every heady, it's just so hard for a player like Ant or any aggressive player to go in there and hit a timing and make a play.
I agree.
Would you like to see a meta change during the year? That's just patch dependent, right? Certain guns will be buffed, guns will be nerfed. I think a lot of people want to see like a third gun meta, like a 3-gun meta. So we'll see how that develops. But I think right now, talking about the meta, I think it's less about the guns and more so about the maps. And at least, and I'm talking about the prior version of the game because obviously the game has changed and we'll see how the game develops. But the maps are just so AR heavy with how it, like, think about Palace Hill. Like, who the hell wants to run a sub on Palace Hill?
You can't.
You can't even get to the
You
hill.
literally can't.
Yeah.
If you run a sub on Palace, the fuck are you doing? What are you gonna rip someone off a guy? Like, no. But yeah, it's whoa, Moolah.
What a legend.
That's a live 10 bob. Thanks, Moolah.
Damn right.
Appreciate that, baby. People are saying, do we think there's going to be new maps implemented during this split? No.
I hope.
I don't think there will be, though.
I hope. I think some of these maps, dude, hot take, maybe cold take. I don't know what you guys think. I think last year had some great maps comparatively. I think Hotel was great. I think Mercado was great. I think Fortress was a great hardpoint. And even Fortress was a great hardpoint map.
Wait. They're testing Rio.
I think I would love to see some new maps. I think some of these maps work and some don't work too well.
I would love to see new maps. Do I think that they're going to put new maps in? Probably not.
I hope.
Because out of all of the years, like, we haven't seen maps added into a mid-year. Like, we haven't seen that a lot. When was the last time it happened? Cold War?
Mid-year maps? Yeah, Cold War.
Cold War?
Raid came out.
Yeah. Is that the last time it's happened?
I think so, yeah. Or no, Expo came in last year. That map
Oh,
was
yeah,
one of the
Expo. Yeah,
that
Expo
map
came
is
in
by
last year.
far one of the worst maps I've ever seen in my entire life. That map was so bad.
But that's because, yeah, I mean,
I think Fortress was better. I'll die on that
Fortress
hill.
was also horrible.
I think Fortress was better than that shithole map.
Fortress was also horrible.
Fortress was the better of the two shit maps, in my opinion.
What map would we take out of the rotation right now for Hardpoint? What would we take out?
Well, you have to think about the new patch.
Terminal, Invasion?
I think Terminal gets better with the new patch. Okay, so I'm talking about strictly the hills. Some of these spawns need work. Like Subbase, for example, there's a spawn on Tunnel where, like, both teams spawn underpass. Like, there are way too many wonky lateral spawns. So I'm speaking distinctly about the new hills. Like, I think Terminal's new hills are better. As soon as spawns are fixed up. I think Subbase also gets a little better with the new hill spots. It's outside tunnel in the back now, and you have more if you can get top snow control. Invasion is weird because I think that Invasion Court Hill gets a little wonky because there's nowhere really to hide in it besides that little bike. But I want to see how the pros play it at a pro level because I've only played it in ranked. But I wouldn't
mind seeing Skid Row go bye-bye.
I do. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that's where P4 is now.
I think P2.
We'll see.
think P2 Skid Row is just P2, P5.
Hold
I
on.
think Skid Row.
ProLoot's saying Terminal better. Well, I mean, at least you can now contest Burger from front.
I like Skid Row.
P1 is a lot more even now because it's in library, and the team on Burger side isn't heavily favored from that contest spot while also holding P2 rotation. I will say Dreams Hill is still OP, the old P2, because it's now on that Godheady, which you can't wallbang. And I do think the P5 is interesting because it's by that cop car, but I do think some of the hill, I think Burger Hill gets better. I think some of the hills get better.
Skid Row's the best map in the game. Dude, I hate the P2 and I hate the P5. I don't like maps where there's hills that are just insanely easy to hold.
I think Karachi's the best map in the game. I think when it comes to
competitively
not viewing, playing, I think Karachi Hardpoint is the best map in the game right now.
That's why I don't like Invasion.
Old Karachi.
Yeah, that's
New
why
Karachi
I don't like Invasion
suck.
pre-patch. I didn't like Invasion. I didn't like Terminal, and I didn't like Skid Row. Just because if a team gets one of those, like watching Optic versus FaZe, we knew Optic lost once FaZe got Palace, which, yeah, there should be hills that are definitely easier to hold, and there should be money hills, but, like, there should never be a hill that's, like, a basically 100% guarantee.
I will say,
I hate that.
I think they need to revert Karachi because I don't think there was any issue with Karachi Hardpoint. Like, I can't think of any hill on Karachi Hardpoint that was unbreakable. We saw P3 get broken a bunch this past weekend. I think of every map, you revert Karachi because I thought Karachi was the best hardpoint map, and I think reverting it is the right plan, to be honest.
Sure.
Somebody said, how do you think cruise missiles not being destroyed by trophies will change?
The cruise missile change, first and foremost,
it changes the game.
Earning
completely.
a cruise now is going to be a lot more impactful.
Yeah.
I do think they should add an extra kill to earn the cruise missile because of how much better it's going to be. Like, the cruise now will single-handedly break hills, and I do think a 6-3 is a good spree, but I think they should add an extra kill to it. I think it should be a 7 spree to get the cruise because it's basically a guaranteed break now for the most part.
I agree. I think 6, I mean, especially on some of these money hills, I mean, a cruise will just take you out of it. You get 1 kill in a pro match for free, you're getting absolutely pinched.
I think you make it the tiniest bit harder to get because it gets a lot better. So I think you make it, I think that makes sense. A tiny bit harder to get because it's literally become at least 10 times more impactful.
I agree with what you're saying. I think 7 is better than 6. 7?
That's the way it works.
I think 7's better than 6. Chat, what do you think? It seems like they don't like that take.
A lot of people like it, and a lot of people don't, and that's why it's my personal opinion. You're allowed to disagree. That's why it's an opinion. Especially with the money hills in this game, a 6 spree is like, think about Skid Row. Think about if you rotate early to P2 Skid Row, and you're just getting free picks on people running through tunnel. Like, a 6 spree is not that hard if you really think about it. It's not easy, but it's not, like, difficult.
Yeah. I don't know. I agree with what you're saying, so.
Chat, what do you guys think about today's show, man? W or what? We were, I think the post-event show is a little worrying sometimes because we're so many days, or not so many days, but we did it 3 days after the matches on Sunday. But I think it was a pleasant surprise how many people tuned in and were showing love today.
I mean, I
thought it was a great show.
Again, guys, like, we need your help. Like, it's we have this schedule now at the CDL. We're expected now to go to the events. We're not home. We can't run the breakdown live from the venue. So we really don't have a choice. Like, it's like it's what we can do. I mean, it's simple as that. I mean, we keep harping on it, but we're losing days on Twitch. We are sacrificing time on our main streaming platform to go to these events and do this shit. And you guys do support while we're there, and we appreciate that. But it's been a big change of pace for us, and we're kind of still trying to figure it out because we found out, like, right as the league started, basically, that our whole, like, schedule was about to change because we didn't get told until the last minute. So we're not asking for sympathy. I'm just telling you how it is because a lot of people, like,
he doesn't like being called.
I don't like getting called a part-timer.
So please stop calling my friend a part-timer.
I don't
because we spend a week at the major. We come back once again. We do have a lot of content responsibilities for Optic once we get back because we're not shooting content on the road. So it takes us a few days to get back in the swing of things. And nonetheless, tomorrow, ranked play streams resume. We have a good break between CDL splits. So we're going to have a bit of time to grind ranked and at least for me, if I can just give a personal thank you, because my YouTube, we gained like almost 10,000 subscribers the past month, and the ranked play content's killing it. If any of you guys are interested, we're uploading a lot of ranked play informational stuff and ranked play videos to YouTube. Also, my Boston vlog is going up. So just a personal thank you if you guys have been enjoying that, because to see the growth on YouTube has been awesome.
Yeah, and we'll be back. We'll be back on a pretty normal schedule tomorrow. We got both of our days of content done for Optic. Today, we figured we'll do the breakdown today. We were actually thinking about doing it tomorrow. Because we were already kind of downtown. Again, that's why I'm sunburnt. So we just figured we'd do it today. Tomorrow, we have 2 weeks now until the major, so we should have some regular streaming time back up until the qualifiers start in, I believe, 16 days. Is it 16 days now? So we should have a more normal schedule up until then, and then things might get crazy again.
What's up? He took your advice. He's streaming.
Jamie turned it on.
Look at Jamie. See, I have fucking motion.
Jamie turned that shit on. Absolutely.
I said, Jamie, give them a POV. And now look, the kid is live. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Ranked play streams. I'm probably going to hop on tonight. So if anybody's interested, I'll probably just solo queue for a bit, do some ranked play for dummies. And then the boys are on tomorrow. Me, you, Bose, and one.
I do have a pretty... I have a valid excuse. Iz leaves for a full week pretty much in 2 days, so that's why I took yesterday. I did content in the morning, and then we spent a day. We got dinner, we walked the dogs. You know, we spent some time together. So
damn right.
I'll use is as a W excuse.
Yeah, hold on. We may have a little Nade shot return because Nade's been grinding ranked, but what a fun show. Dude, look, I'm a little burnt too. You can kind of see it. Still looking good. Don't mind the fucking Saturn-sized pimple on my head. Good Lord.
Damn, son.
It's all right, man. You got pimples. I got sunburn. All good. All right, let's cut the show. Thank you guys very much. Zin will be live later tonight. Make sure to go hang out with him. We'll be live back with your regular programming tomorrow. We'll be in the ranked play, absolute trenches.
Damn right.
Gentlemen will be back. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming out, showing love for real. It was a great show tonight. So thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Thanks for watching, man. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe.